is in? I hear Jid, I hear Eminem, and who else is in this?
That's it. Just Jid and Eminem.
Okay, I was like, is there anybody else? Yes, I love me some Jid, and I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Eminem can still rap.
Yeah, it was on his latest album, Eminem's latest album. I put it in the link in the Spotify if you need it.
Thank you.
That's just to the song, but the whole album is out. I haven't listened to the whole album yet, but I heard that at the gym. I was like, oh my God. Woo! Two spitters right there.
Right?
Yeah, it's funny too, because like everybody wants Black Twitter and social media. They always clowning Eminem now and calling him corny and saying he raps like dads and all this stuff. And I'm not arguing whether or not, who gives a fuck what they think, but
right.
I just think it's funny. Ain't no rappers ever joined in that.
Because they respect him.
Because nobody wants those problems. And we can make jokes all we want, but
right.
like we never got to worry about him writing a rap diss about Black Twitter. But if you was like, let's say Chance the Rapper tried to join in on this shit, it would be a problem. So it's just funny to me.
Yeah, it's just some people you don't want them problems with, and like you say, people that like you say don't really got to deal with the consequences can throw all these opinions and have all these think pieces and argue.
I mean, it's good jokes.
Yes, argue with motherfuckers online, but when you got to deal with him actually concentrating, putting pencil to pen, nah, you gonna be I don't want them problems.
I don't want to fight. Not Eminem.
Not Eminem.
Like. Ugh. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my queen consort,
Karen.
And we are live on a Saturday morning, ready to do some feedback. Find us everywhere that you find podcasts. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We like to read those on the show on days like today. The official weapon of the show is
phone check,
and the unofficial sport
bullet ball.
A bullet ball extreme. Shout out to y'all that's buying new shirt designs that are in the store. I made sure to put them up. I saw some of y'all are copping them. Hope y'all are enjoying those. And what else was I gonna say? No, that's it. We should get into the show. Let's talk about the people that took the time out to put a little something in our pockets. You can go to the blackguywhotips.com, look on the right hand side. It'll let you donate to the show, put something on it, support the show through PayPal, any denomination, any amount of times. We just give you the shout out.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tithe to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Today's a new day. New pay. New hey.
Hey.
We got Tiffany B, recurring donator, Shirley Wan Esquire, please say the Esquire, Palmetto Stone Magic, J4, Alfonso M, Autumn Harvest, which I think is new.
That sound new.
I don't remember Autumn Harvest before, but welcome to the new members class.
You know what, baby? Your name sounds like a festival that I'll be going to in Coral Island. I got a cozy game I play called Coral Island, and it sounds like I would probably go to a festival named after you, baby.
David C, recurring donator, James C, shout out to the C family, they're in the house. Jasmine J, Kyle K, Bambi, Dr. Professor Bambi, Unbridled Love, Falcons Diva, Jason F, and Ken M, and lastly Derek LW. I think that's 3LW cousin. Shout out to all the people that took the time out to put something on our commissary.
Thank you.
But you know what else I love? 5-star reviews.
Oh shit.
And we got some new ones. Got a bunch of new ones. The first one is from DXL22, who says, Bum Fights Presidential Edition. You and Karen say the stuff we say in our house about this Trump versus Biden reality show that we living in now. It helps our mental health to hear your perspective. We listen as a couple. Your show is something we enjoy together. Thanks. I'm glad we could do that for y'all. 10 Toes Down is the title of this one. It's from Negro Cafe. who says Rod and Karen will give you information in the realest way possible. They put it where the goats can get it and stand on business. A fan for life. Hashtag Soul Sister #1. Black Coffee. Thank you.
Thank you.
A Negro Cafe sounds like a coffee shop in season 2 of Luke Cage.
Yes, I'd go.
They named everything in that show something black.
I would definitely go to Negro Cafe.
5-star refresh. TBGWT, this from Miles at Self-Critical Hits, who says, TBGWT is an amazing, hilarious, warm, authentic, and insightful podcast anytime. But right now, during an election year, it is absolutely essential listening. Rod and Karen provide some of the most sharp, nuanced, and considered political takes out there, along with pop culture and nerd news, charming segments, and games and jokes. To Queen Karen, I'm here for the jokes.
Yay! I'm glad you are.
Review time. This is from Faustin MN, who says, figured it was time to refresh my old review. Best podcast ever. Thank you.
Thank you for the refresh.
MSW says, love it. Thank you. MSW is the title, and it says, love it. Thank you. Shelly029. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 more. Blue Wave Rider, who calls in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He says, better than the rest. I've been kicking it with these two since 2013. Sir Roderick and Lady Karen discuss current events with both nuance and humor. They don't follow the crowd. They lead the herd. Their review of House of the Dragons is really great, especially when they drop the music or audio clips to the dialogue to emphasize a certain point. If you're looking for a new podcast, try Rod and Karen for just 1 week. It won't be wasted time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Blue Wave Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice of you. And I really do appreciate that you see that, you know, it's not about following the crowd. It's not, and for the record, it's not about going against the crowd either. It's
right.
just, you know, it's really hard, I think, these days for people to really truly be themselves.
Yes.
In our social media environment.
Mm-hmm.
So many people are so influenced by stuff, and they never stop to think for a second, like, for real, like, is this my belief or is this just my peer pressured belief of I would like to fit into the crowd? You know, not that we aren't all social creatures, not that we aren't all trying to find, you know, our group that we belong to, but I like to think about that stuff a little bit longer than just, you know, that split second when then hop on the microphone and just basically regurgitate everything you can go read on Black Twitter back to y'all. A lot of podcasts do that, not naming no names, but I feel like that's not, to me, I wouldn't feel like we were doing the best show possible unless we were being ourselves completely.
I agree. And what I've realized, and as somebody who has been on social media long enough to be influenced, to be impacted, to be praised and then turn around and let down, and went through all the emotional things that social media can do if you allow it to. Me and Roger are talking from a perspective. For some people, they'll never, not trying to funny, understand because they're on social media, but they don't have to deal with the other things that kind of happen in social media. So their experience on social media is kind of narrow. So when Roger brings up things or I bring up things, we talk about, a percentage of the audience is always like, that shit not real, but it is. You know, it's real on quote unquote social media. Even though you haven't experienced, so these things might not have happened to you, it does not mean these things don't exist, and it does not mean these things don't impact you. And when you were talking about being your authentic self, that yes, a lot of people, because we've met people on and offline, some people, their online personality is not their offline personality.
Yeah, I think I'm not talking about being a fake person like that. I mean, like, it's hard, even if you mean well, to kind of divorce yourself from like the current zeitgeist and be like, what are my feelings on this thing?
Okay.
And a lot of times it's not, because it's not performative, it's not really for an audience. It's just about finding your metronome, your personal metronome, and letting that guide you. I think that is difficult in these days. You know, I'll give a perfect example. Well, I'll give 2 examples. Okay, the first one is how you used to hate Lena Dunham on our podcast, and you had never watched anything she had ever done. There was no reason to be so like upset, other than at that time there was a lot of people through social media. It was like a running gag how everyone needs to hate her. The more you hate her, the more performative it is, the better off you're doing, the more pats on the back you get. And I remember just, you talking, and we talked about it at like dinner one time, and we kind of worked through it because I just was so curious about where is this coming from, because I know you.
Right.
I'm in the house with you. I watch the shows, and I don't even hate this woman like the way you, and we talked it through, and it's kind of like, okay, yeah. And that was in the early days before people would even admit that the internet influenced people's shit. So
agreed.
It
right.
was a big moment for us, but now I think people can see that stuff a little more readily. So I think that's a like big example. Another one, the Captain America trailer just dropped for the new Captain America, Sam Wilson.
I'm excited.
And yeah, I'm excited as well. But looking at the content on social media from all the like nerds that I follow that make nerd content about the Marvel and DC and all that stuff, there's a lot of like videos being like, oh man, they got this actress in here who's playing like an Israeli superhero, and the actress was in the IDF, and they need to rewrite this thing. Why is she even still in the movie? I thought they were delaying the movie coming out so they could like cut her out of the movie. Now, me and Karen follow this stuff, and I had never heard any of this. Right?
They be in them deep rabbit holes, dog.
Right. But also, Karen, our social media, we have not been using it to like signify how much, like, we're not getting into the social media part of Israel versus Palestine. We've talked about it on the podcast. Right. We've made our sympathies known. We have not been dissing people that are having issues with the Biden administration. I've stayed out of that fray because I understand where they're coming from, and I don't disagree.
Right.
But because we haven't used our social media to like court that type of environment, we're not seeing the same things they're seeing.
That's right.
We're not having the same discussion these people are having. And so for a lot of them, they are so now like anti, like Israel, and I think that's an accurate way to portray it without saying they're anti-Semitic.
Right.
They're anti-Israel so much that because they've been talking about this stuff for almost a year now, they have to come out and be like, okay, I want to see this movie, but I can't be too excited about this movie, and I have to like point out that if this movie doesn't do well, this will be why. Because for them, some of them have been boycotting stuff. Now, once again, the boycott thing is an interesting thing because it's not very organized as far as like where people are going to see the numbers and the specifics.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff, people are saying I'm boycotting, but then they're covering the Acolyte. Well, then that means you're watching Disney Plus, so you're not really boycotting. But my point being, if you're in, everyone who's listening that is online enough to know what I'm talking about is like, yeah, I'm seeing that too. All my favorite creators are coming out to be like, oh, why is this? And the woman was probably in the trailer 3 seconds. I have no idea how big her role is or any details.
Right.
Like, to me, no reason to be discouraged from the movie, no reason to be encouraged for the movie. If she's the reason, then I don't even know what to say. But the point being, like, that it's hard to, like, that those people, in my opinion, really want to be excited for that movie. And they were excited about that trailer. And they'd like to do that. But they know social media wise, if they don't mention that, there's gonna be a peer pressure effect of like, hey, you didn't bring this up and you claim to care about this for the last 8 months. What's up? And so I think that's what I mean by like, I actually pride that we have a podcast, and maybe it's because we're old enough.
Right.
But I actually pride that we have a show where it's like, if I'm genuinely sad about something, I'll genuinely be sad. If I'm genuinely happy, I can genuinely be happy. But I've never had to feel like I had to perform an emotion.
Agreed.
Or perform a point for people in years, and much of that just being getting older and really therapy and seeing myself and being like, no, I don't want to live a existence of performance for anyone unless I intentionally choose to perform for that person in that moment.
Agreed. And like you say, particularly with Lena Dunham, once I went through that experience, when I see these hate hives for like Chris Pine, and I see these, hate hives, I'm like, oh, y'all ain't went through the process. because that person has done absolutely nothing to you. You don't know that person. You know nothing about them. Everything that you are digesting in, you're receiving it from whatever site that already has a biased confirmation of what you already think. Because if I sit down and ask you as an individual about this, you actually don't care. Like if I really get down to the bottom of it, you actually don't care. And all these things that you bring up, there'll be things that you heard and things that you can't confirm as facts. Things that you don't know. Because for me, being my authentic self is because the way me and you communicate, because everybody's communication is different. When you begin to ask me things and I really begin to sit down and my mind navigates through those things, you can't lie to yourself. And a lot of people lie to themselves to cover the truth of how they really feel about things. And when you do that, we can't get down to the bottom of it and we can't resolve the matter at hand because you have too much shit in the way for us to actually see what's happening. And also what I've realized too, to be your authentic self, you have to process shit offline. And the internet says everything needs to be here. Everything needs to be here. If you feel something, you feel hot takes, say it now, say it now, say it now. No, some shit needs to be processed offline. Because when things are processed offline, a lot of times your first instinct is not always politically correct. It's not always right. It might be out of anger. It might be out of these big, heavy emotions. And you have to swim through that to actually get to the root cause of your problem. But social media is the opposite of processing. And once I realized, social media does not want you to think. It does not want you to process. It doesn't want you to go through do the emotional work that you have to do to really find out, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel the need to follow the crowd? Why do you feel the need to be accepted? Why do you feel the need to follow the wave? Why can't you form your own opinion and stand on your opinion, even if it goes, quote unquote, against what other people feel like? And I understand a lot of that is just being a human being, because we all kind of go through that. We all want to be accepted. We all want to find our tribes. Like, I completely get it. But there has to be a point in time where you have to be your own individual self. And I know for me, I'm a very, very, very happy person. And I had to learn, because I was brought up in a household where I personally was not taught how to, quote unquote, balance my emotions. And as an adult, I see people, I go, you were never taught how to balance your emotions. These high highs and low lows aren't always healthy. Sometimes you need to be in the middle. And when you're in the middle, you can go up and down, but you don't have these extremes unless it's absolutely necessary. This is why when things happen, everything for me ain't 10. Because I think about it. How important is this to me? How much will this really impact my life? And in 48 hours, will I remember this? And if I can't, it is actually not that important to me. But social media is the opposite of that. Social media is now. Say it now, say it now, say it now. Fuck the consequences, fuck the repercussions, fuck what come after this. And then the same people that told you to jump off that bridge will turn around and laugh at you as you go down.
Next review. Karen and Roderick are the best. This is from Mel Kwan, who says, there are a ton of podcasts out there, but yours is one of the best. I love your show. Karen is so funny. I love it when she gives her brutally honest opinions. Well, you must have liked the last segment. Roderick, you are knowledgeable, and I love the way you introduce and explain topics, as well as lovingly keep Karen on track. You know, I try to do what I can.
Yeah. So sometimes you got to stir me away. Chad, me and Justice like the 1-2 punch. Shout out to Balls Deep. I don't give a fuck about athletics. Fuck sports.
But it goes on to say, I most look forward to your House of Dragons update. Your show has become a daily favorite for me. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mel Kwan. We appreciate you.
Thank you, baby.
All right. When we come back, we're going to get into the actual episodes and the feedback that y'all left on those. Zoom by Infrared Crypto. Go ahead.
Okay, before we go on, I'm thinking about something that you said before. Also, I think with a lot of these extremes on social media we were talking about before, a lot of it goes down to that article you read about people being lonelier than ever. I think a lot of times people don't have people actually to talk to in real life, so they turn around and they use social media as a substitute for a physical real friend sometimes, and that's not always healthy. Sometimes you need somebody that you can talk to that is not online, not on social media, that's separated from that environment, so that when you start using the shorthand, they looking at you like, the fuck you talking about? Then you be like, oh yeah, this shit ain't that important. Yeah, let me talk to you about the thing, about what's happening, and talk to you like we having a normal ass conversation. Not for everybody, but for some people, I think that this is why we have all these extremes about the election, because a lot of people are very, very lonely.
All right, let's get to these comments. The first episode is Best Podcast in the World, episode 2934. Of course, Appia had asked about Ronan Raphael's trip, and I'll just leave all their back and forth between them two.
That's y'all private conversation. It just happened to be.
I mean, it's got nothing to do with the podcast.
Right.
This is a feedback show for the podcast. Ronan Raphael says, as for the poll, our dog gets really agitated during July 4th. Since it was just the two of us at home, I decided to make the house as loud as possible while he chilled in the basement. Either old age got to him or my experiment worked. He seemed calm throughout the night.
Oh,
Hit me up
nice.
if you need an unlicensed dog whisperer. I also didn't feel like hearing people whine about Biden too, so I finished watching Sweet Tooth on my couch to fireworks outside. I feel you. I need to finish Sweet Tooth. Classic R&B lover says, I commented yes on the poll. The poll is, did you do anything to celebrate the 4th? I commented yes on the poll, not because I did anything traditional celebrating on White People's Freedom Day. I saved that for Juneteenth. I did, however, spend countless minutes watching the They Not Like Us music video. Kendrick gave me 2 holidays in a row dunking on Arbery, and I love it. Ramsey D. Jenkins says, I went to Top Golf and enjoyed sushi on that other holiday. I have watched They Not Like Us at least 20 times. Sean says, Rod, just want to say many listeners asked about the music and asked you to tag it. I just want to say thank you for making the effort and trying to name the artists and tracks as often as you do. You are doing a great job. I see you. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Yatunde says, your story of beating up your bully was super satisfying, just saying. EVE says, whatever happened with your bully after you whooped his ass? Did he mess with you again? Have you run into him again when you were adults? I was so invested in that story. I don't believe. So we ended up going to high school together. What happened was that was in middle school, and I want to say like my 8th grade year or something. And back then middle school went to 9th grade. But I want to say we maybe got into an altercation in the classroom where he threw something at me, and I just told the teacher immediately, and they got his parents involved, and that was the last time he ever said or did anything towards me. Cause like the thing is, after I got my get back, my parents are not the type of parents to let me keep fighting.
Right.
And I know a lot of black parents especially pride themselves on this whole like, if you get in a fight, you better fight back, and you better whoop their ass, and don't come home unless you whoop their ass, or I'm gonna whoop your ass. My parents weren't like that at all. They were very much like, you should not be fighting
unless it's the last resort.
Your job is to go to school and not to, be fighting people and shit. And so when he did it one more time where he threw something at me, and I don't know if he said something to me, I'm smart mouth, I'm sure I said something back because I'm not no bitch.
Right.
But he threw like a pencil or something at me, and like very hard. That could have like hit me in my eye or something. It just didn't. And I don't know if he was trying to miss or if it was on purpose. Whatever happened, I just fucking told the teacher, I was like, yo, Taylor just threw some shit at me. What y'all trying to do?
Right.
Because I can't, I'm not fucking around. And so his parents got involved. He never did nothing again. EVE says, and I don't remember if they made him apologize or not. I feel like they did something like that. And then he left me alone. EVE says, whatever. Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. Shannon says, hey, Rod and Karen. I'm a few weeks behind with this comment, but I always forget to write before Saturday. As your friendly neighborhood Disney adult, I just wanted to give some insight. While I've never gone into debt to visit Disneyland pre-pandemic, I did have an annual pass, and I would go down to SoCal about 4 times a year and stop at the park. I think it's a lot more expensive now, and you definitely get more bang for your buck if you visit multiple days in a row. Right now, a single day peak season could be over $200, but going multiple days in a row, it could be around $80 a day.
A lot cheaper.
As an adult and someone who goes solo, I take advantage of the single rider lines and use the Genie Plus, formerly Max Pass, to reserve rides times on my phone. Oh, okay.
That must be nice.
My favorite things are the seasonal food items, pictures with the characters, and there's a few rides I always hit when I'm there. I think it's definitely something I enjoy because I'm not there with kids or even a group of adults, and I can do things at my own pace.
Right.
Also, having a pass gave me food and merch discounts. And with all the Marvel, Star Wars, and classic Disney stuff, I think it hits a sweet spot for folks around our age. Anyway, I'm always here for any Disney tips and tricks. I love helping people maximize their fun at the park. Shannon. Thank you, Shannon.
Oh, that sounds like fun. And like I say, we have caravans here, but caravans a little different. Like, and I think if we had like a Disneyland or Disney World close near us, I would probably go by myself several times a year. But, caravans is a much, much, much smaller type of thing. So, once you reach a certain age, I don't want to say you kind of outgrow it, but, I go, and every time I go, I always have a ball, but it's not something that I would want to invest into a season pass.
And then we got, of course, the YouTube comments and the poll. The poll is, did you do anything to celebrate the 4th? 30% did, 70% did not. As far as the podcast comments, we got 4 comments here. Let's see. Seeking the Truth says transition lenses had a blue light filters included according to my optometrist, and the latest transition lens technology gets darker while in the vehicle. Yeah, Karen got her glasses, and they have gotten dark in the car. I've noticed.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Earl says mediocrity. Oh, Earl Rich. Okay, mediocrity. Good to be white. You know the book. Always racism, Rod. That's what his comments were. I'm not sure. It's probably in relationship to the presidential election.
Yes.
Ebbs 29 says, I'm an independent who will be voting blue at the top of the ticket and down ballot in 2024. I want to respond specifically to the caller that who mentioned that we had the Wu-Tang Clan in 2020 and still chose an old white guy. Facts. But I don't think it's as simple as just wanting the old white man. I rode hard for Mayor Pete, going to events, donating major cash, and arguing with motherfuckers down about why he was the best candidate. But the Iowa caucus debacle happened, and then Jim Clyburn endorsed Joe Biden, and all my hopes for a better, more progressive candidate went out the window, and many of my friends were supporting candidates other than Joe. But in November, we all fell in line and voted for him. So I'm probably in the minority of listeners who doesn't want to fall in line again and is in favor of replacing Joe at the top of the ticket. It's not just about one bad debate. I have my suspicions that his closest aides and the DNC have been covering up the severity of his condition for a while, and now it has come to bite them in the butt. Plus, Joe was supposed to be a transitional president. Why is he even seeking re-election? I think the successful midterm elections put a battery in his back, but that was more fueled by anger at the Supreme Court to support Joe. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I have several things. Number one, I do understand what you were saying about the different candidates. The thing is, it's not you, it's everybody. Because that's the thing. Like you wanted him, and I bet you other people wanted him too.
You're talking about Buttigieg.
Yeah, Buttigieg, right. Other people wanted Buttigieg and all these other candidates. Kamala. And all these other candidates, and Joe was like literally at the bottom of the barrel, like Lily was at the bottom of the barrel. But what happens is that a lot of people, even the people that were on your side, talk themselves out of him. That's what people fail to realize. Everybody talked themselves. Something was wrong.
Out of him, Pete
Buttigieg, or whoever the candidate other than Joe Biden was. Everybody talked their way out of it. Everybody, because the thing is, when you do the caucuses, when you go around from state to state and we vote, that's how it was determined who's at the top of the ballot and who's going to represent. So when these things started going across the country, it wasn't you, it was your fellow Americans that said no. And so that's why I say I blame it on the voting populace, because Joe Biden wasn't my pick either, but Joe won the ticket. And so since Joe won the ticket, that's who I'm voting for. And to push back on what you said, there's nothing that I've heard from anybody, including Joe and them, that says that Joe was a transitional candidate. He never said when I got in the office, I'm going to turn around and give it to Kamala. He never said that. People, and not my time. Now, unless it's an article or something that you can prove to me or send to me that says this, that's not true. And also, it's one of these things where what you're saying about people, that's not true either. There's nothing, there's no medical records, there's nothing that are just saying that the statement that you are making is true. And that's the thing I said about how shit goes online and people are already biased, so they run to it and they just run with this shit like it's facts. There's nothing anywhere that says that Joe Biden said, when I get in the office, I'm gonna give it to Kamala. That is not on record. I don't see anything. Nobody has, because New York Times and all these, they'd have been on top of that shit. It'd have been the biggest news if this man would have said that. And as much scrutiny as the Democratic person gets in office, if there would have been any ounce of these people knowing this shit, it would have been breaking news and everybody would have been talking about it. So this is why I'm saying the things that you are saying are not based in facts. I understand that you did not want Joe. A lot of us didn't want Joe. I get that. And I understand that you going, well, I'll vote for him if he's at the top of the ticket, because that's what I'm going to do. But my thing is this is my question I have for you. If not Joe, who? And if and it better be Kamala. Then if not Kamala, who? And if it's anybody other than Kamala, it's going to get challenged. And that's what I'm saying. People make these statements, and then you don't want to deal with the consequences behind any of these things. Like, we are months away from the election, and I do understand that there's some people that never wanted Joe, and this is their chance to get in and ramble and rah and all this shit. But most of the people going, bitch, we 4 months away. We're not changing candidates like right now. Like, it logically and strategically makes no sense. And not trying to be funny, Joe Biden has showed that he is the only candidate that can beat Trump. I personally think if anybody else would have ran, they would have lost because of America. Too womany, too LGBTQE, to what about her emails? Everybody would have fucking lost. And so, like that's my logic behind the decision that I'm making. And I get it. I agree with Roderick. Everybody needs to process this differently. And maybe because I'm old and black and I don't give a goddamn and it is what it is, I'm like, fuck it, Joe. Okay, a lot of people, they got to process it. They got to whine. They got to cry. They got to do that. That's cool. Go through your process. But when November come, bitch, vote. And vote Joe Biden. Anybody other than him or Kamala, I don't want to hear it. And this is just me. You ain't got to agree or disagree, but this is just me. Like, I ain't got to go through this emotional roller coaster that online is spewing and people falling out and flipping and flopping and nominating everybody else that Joe Biden beat in the primary and talking about these people can get it. No, they can't. They can't. They weren't even on the ballot. What are we talking about? They had their chance and America said no.
All right. First of all, I agree with everything you said. But she got 2 more paragraphs. And the only things I want to add that just directly, because I disagree with the way she's framing it, but you not wanting to fall in line again means nothing, because you're going to fall in line again. And that's the reason it has to be Joe Biden. The reason it has to be Joe Biden is because y'all will fall in line for this old white man. You'll gripe. You'll complain. I have yet to find a person who's told me I ain't voting for him. Fuck it. And when it was Hillary, there was plenty of those people. When it was Kamala, there were plenty of those people, many being black. Unfortunately, being an old white man is the easiest setting on Madden. You know, it's all rookie. Like, it don't get no easier than being an old white man in America, and the bar is low. The other things you said is confirmation bias. Now, of course, you can have suspicions, you can have beliefs, but you can't prove anything. So this idea that the DNC's been covering up the severity of his condition while he spent the last couple weeks, including last night. You wrote this comment 4 hours ago. Last night he gave a hour long like debate, a hour long speech. Everybody was talking about it on social media, but you see what you want to see. You know, the hour that he spoke with NATO, which was at like 11, it was at late at night. But when he spoke with that, everyone's just like, well, you know, at the beginning he called Kamala Harris Donald Trump by mistake. And then the next hour, he broke down international policy in a way that, and honestly, like, this is just, I can't imagine how people who've actually taken care of folks that have dementia, that have Alzheimer's and stuff, I can't imagine how incensed some of them are. I can't imagine how older people listen to our podcast, hearing people talk like this. I can't imagine how mad some people get.
Right.
Because that's not dementia. That's not Parkinson's. That's not Alzheimer's. Y'all are so, it's just, y'all are, I brought this up in the past, but y'all will never see it. But our side is not very different from the QAnon side, by which I mean you can get hyper into these bubbles and focus, like hyper focus on something, and by the end of it, this man is basically a stumbling, bumbling corpse that is like, he didn't have a bad night. That's just how he is all the time, and we just don't notice.
Right.
And he must have, you know, like some chronic disease and he's dying of, or whatever it is. That is QAnon level shit. If I were to say that happened 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if I were to say there's a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden has Alzheimer's and they've just been propping up his corpse, y'all would have said, oh my God, these are the like people that are going to run up on the Capitol that believe this bullshit. But you can hyper focus yourself through social media into this. I brought this up last night, but Elon Musk, who said on social media he's not beholden to any candidate, well, he donated to Donald Trump's candidacy campaign, right? So he's giving money to Donald Trump.
Of course he
Okay.
did.
How many of y'all still think Twitter is neutral?
Right.
How many of y'all think when you log on to Twitter and that For You page pops up, which I don't know for you, but for me, full of people I'm not following, giving opinions I didn't ask for now.
Right.
How many of y'all think that's neutral? Oh, I just happened to see that everybody wants Joe Biden to stand down. They do a poll and you see that the vast majority of people still with him. Interesting, because it's over indexed to he needs to stand down. How many people with our media being hyper on social media, media is in our like broadcasters, how many of them are influenced by it, and that leads their talking points and what they need to see? You know, I'm good friends with people that are major media figures and they talk to me about what they see on Twitter, and sometimes I have to be like, fam, I'm not seeing that. Like, you got to think about why you're seeing it.
Right.
What you're clicking, what you're stopping. And sometimes if I go on my social media, I'll still see certain things, and I know it's because it's so fucked up that I'll stop at it. Yeah. And it just registers that I stopped. That's it. It doesn't register good or bad. Just he stopped it. But if it's a thing that is really like bothering me, something that's really making me sad or something, like there's like a cost to that. I stop and then I look at the next thing about it and the next thing.
It's a rabbit hole.
Yes. So and then also when we look at our media conglomerates and who runs them, who owns them, these big corporations don't want Joe Biden and his high taxing billionaire ass in there.
They do not. Another
reason that I have to call bullshit on what you're writing, Ebbs, is because you're not saying he needs to step down as president. I don't want him to run for president and win again, basically. I don't want him as the president. Why? Because you never wanted him as the president. I was listening to the homies, the Firestarter podcast, love those guys, and they were having a long conversation about the debate and all this stuff. But you can go back 8 years at this point. They never wanted Joe Biden. They would not fuck. When he does something good, they gotta begrudgingly give it to him. It's not a, yeah, if it was Bernie, sure, give him the credit. He's killing it as president. You put Bernie's name on Joe Biden's accomplishments, all of a sudden motherfuckers' dicks get hard. They just, what is so funny about this, they just want another person's name on his competence. Think about what I'm saying. Cause y'all ain't talking about no, the party gotta change because it's the president. If the president changes, it'll fix the party. Y'all no, everybody's like, nah, he's doing the best he can with the numbers he got. I don't think another motherfucker could just go in there and make it different. The numbers are the numbers. I want to feel differently about the guy at the top. And that's what everybody thought they wanted. But this is not, politics is never really about getting what you really want. And we'll get into the Trump part in a second because that's your next paragraph. But just the main thing here is that Joe Biden is the guy. And you're going to vote for him in November. So, complain, write your long paragraphs, do your thing. At the end of the fucking day, you got to soldier up and do it. That's all I've been saying the whole time. I've never, ever fallen in love with a candidate. And that's even going to Barack and Michelle, who I do love the idea of Barack and Michelle, but I've never been hurt by them because I'm like, he running for a job and the job is hard and the job isn't about making me and Twitter happy.
Yes, and not trying to be funny because I didn't fall in love with that delusion of hope and change. I did not get as disappointed and so hurt and crushed as so many people were in him.
So, I'll finish reading your thing, but just some of the stuff you're saying are things that not only do I disagree with, but you haven't proven. So you would have to prove that this man has this deteriorating condition and it's literally like some medical shit and they've been hiding it. No one has proof. You just got feelings. And oh man, you can't, I'm sure you're unbiased person that didn't want him anyway. Anyway, Joe was supposed to be a transitional president. So what they're concentrating on with that is there's one time he made a comment of seeing himself as a transitional president. He never promised to only president for one term. Like transition could be 8 years. He can say I'm a transitional president in that I want to, however long I'm in office, make it so that the next president is a Democrat. That's what I want to be, basically. So people just assume shit because they wanted it. When he said it, I remember when he said it, and I didn't think, oh, he's a one-term president. No, you didn't want him to be a any-term president.
Right.
So you decided that he should be one term. Well, that's not how this works. Why is he even seeking re-election? I think the successful he's seeking re-election because Donald Trump's seeking re-election. He's told you a million times.
Right, he don't.
And his administration is doing a good job, which is another reason someone would seek re-election. It's not all personal. Like I can understand on the other side where Trump is a megalomaniac and everything is about him. I still see Joe Biden as a steward. I still see the dude as a guy who essentially went, fuck, if I don't run, I don't think this country's gonna stick around. That's what I think he did. And the reason why Republicans can't sit in a room and force Trump to sit down is because they had an actual primary, unlike the Democrats. When Dean Phillips had the courage to try and contest Biden, the DNC told him to sit the fuck down and wouldn't even host a debate. Thank you. I'm glad you brought this up. For a couple reasons. One, Trump didn't participate in their primary.
He did not.
He didn't do any debates. And they can't sit him down essentially because he has the votes. So they actually haven't sat him down. They can't sit him down. He refuses to sit down, and yet he cruised to the primary through the primary without even doing a single debate. Why was he able to do that, Ebbs? Let's be real. Why was he able to do that? The same reason Joe Biden is able to do it. He got the votes. Y'all didn't get the votes. Dean Phillips, is that going to be your president? Who the fuck is Dean Phillips? What are his stances? What has he done? I don't know this man, and I follow politics. Dean Phillips could walk in here right now, and I'd be like, sir, I think you have the wrong apartment. That's a problem. That's a problem with all the like pie in the sky bullshit that so many of these, you say you're independent, so you're not even really part of the Democratic Party, so I mean, there's zero reason for them to cater to you. You don't buy in. You don't do anything for them specifically. It's a difference between being like Pete Buttigieg was my candidate and being like, I'm a Democratic voter. I'm part of the Democratic Party, and this is what I'm going to push for within the party to make it reflect that. So they don't really owe you a candidate anyway. Truthfully, if you're independent, you should be writing in about Cornel West or Jill Stein or something like that. But you know that's a pipe dream. So you got to come over here to the party, and the party got rules.
Right.
The party got rules. If you're a Democratic voter, you know the party got rules. You know you got to meet a certain percentage of the vote and certain percentage on petitions and stuff to even garner a debate. Dean Phillips knew that when he threw his hat in the ring and you hoisted him on your back as if he was doing something, not knowing a single policy, just he different than Joe Biden. You just want Joe Biden's accomplishments, Dean Phillips' face. I don't know Dean Phillips' face. That's a problem for the rest of America too. That's one of the issues with all this replace Joe Biden shit. And once again, like I said, even Firestarter, who I respect those dudes, they ain't got no idea, no name. It's not a single unifying person. Then it's just you go through. Everyone got to work it through emotionally. I don't want Joe Biden. Tantrum. Okay. So what we gonna go to Kamala? Well, you know Kamala can't win. I mean, come on, man. I mean, they say she can win, but she can't win. Well, a black woman ain't never gonna be president. So okay. Well then, I mean, Gavin Newsom. Well, he's sick. He's he a slick person. They he cheat on his wife, but I don't know. Everybody gotta go through all this him and the hawing, and those people you won't vote for. Joe Biden people will.
Yeah, and like I said, and it is a process. And like I said, I understand people that's like, I didn't want Joe Biden. I 100% get it. But I am like this, and it's simple to me. Do you want to win or not? You have to consider the future. Everything can't be based in right now. You have to consider 4 years from now, 8 years from now, 16 years from now. Shit, when you dead and gone, you have to process it past how I feel and the emotions that I feel right now. And yes, just like them, a lot of other people have went through that on microphones, like just that emotional thing. And I'm not mad or upset because it's natural to be hurt and disenfranchised when the person that you wanted didn't make the ticket. I get it. But at some point, you've got to unite. And that's what the Republicans do. It's a lot of them motherfuckers don't like Trump, and some of them are still fuck him, but a large percent of them are like, I don't like that nigga, but he's at the party, so he got my vote.
So yeah, Dean Phillips ain't nobody. And back to this. All that said, President Joe is a good man who served our country spectacularly for 50 years. He did a good job as president, and now it's time to pass the torch. The fact that you wrote all that is the problem. Because you think the rest of us are supposed to see that and be like, well, he got to go. No. The rest of us see a man doing a good job, an administration doing a good job, a person that doesn't fucking embarrass us every day. He gets on a microphone by saying something racist or saying something homophobic or whatever, or just something megalomaniacal or whatever. Not tweeting out shit on the toilet in the middle of the day that changes policy and stuff.
Doing his fucking
being
job.
quote unquote boring or whatever, not making you feel inspired, but not making the rest of us feel terrified.
Right.
That's one of the reasons he has the support. And a lot of that support, because we're pragmatic, we're not out here rah, rah, rah. Like, we're not wearing the t-shirts. We're not starting the Facebook groups. We're not, no pantsuit nation shit over here. We're just very resolute. But you go and you look at these rallies that he's doing. You look at the place. It's not a coincidence. The places where he's shoring up and getting the most support just happen to be black places. I never get tired of being right. Okay? But I'm so fucking right about this. This shit is just boiling down to another racial divide, and that's it. And nobody wants to admit that it's black people who are saying, yo, y'all not getting rid of Joe.
Right.
Listen to Urban View. All the callers calling in and stuff. They couldn't find a caller to call in and go, no, Joe gotta go. And it's a black radio station that serves the people. Now, that doesn't mean it's 100%. I'm sure there's black people like you that are like, he need to go, all that stuff. But I'm saying, in mass, you not about to, y'all, it's not enough for y'all to change it for the rest of us. We're not going to just let this dude go out without a fight. And mostly because it's the same fear you have. But the truth is, we believe that white people will vote for this guy. And we don't think they will vote for these other people that y'all keep trotting out that they don't know,
right,
who don't have the same connections to the communities, who doesn't have the same legacy and tenor. On the social media, which skews heavily left, yeah, they want Bernie, who's just as old. They want AOC. They want all these people that are not popular, that are less popular with the voters that they claim Biden can't get anymore.
Right.
So it's just ridiculous. And the polls, people only count the polls that they want to count. There's plenty of polls that are like, yo, that was a very concerning debate. Right. But polls since then have been like, his support has been unwavering. His support has gone up. No, those don't count. No, we got to get rid of them that one night. At this point, it's y'all trying to gaslight us until further proof comes out. It's y'all trying to take one night and be like, this man is senile and y'all just okay with it. And everyone's going, nah, we've been watching the fucking, the State of the Union wasn't that long ago. These speeches and interviews he's been giving after this they were right there. I'm sorry, but no, we don't agree. And at the end of the day, you're gonna vote for him. As you keep saying, if he's the choice, you're gonna do it. And that's all it's really gonna boil down to, period.
Yeah, I agree. And that's all it's really gonna boil down to. Everybody hemming and hawing and huffing and puffing, but you're gonna vote for Joe. And anybody else you bring up, there is something wrong with them. And we need white people to vote too. So white people only gonna vote for Joe Biden. All these other candidates got something wrong with it, and white people in mass will hem and haw and find a way not to vote for them. That is the reality. And also, not trying to be funny, this is one reason why I don't talk about this online. You bring up a good point when people act like, bringing up points like, hey, this happened, and they just act like Joe Biden is going to be dying tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It's very, very insulting to all the black people that are old and black and not online, and like you got millions of black people across this country that are like, I don't give a fuck about that, I'm still voting for Joe. And y'all are like, y'all niggas are stupid, and we're going, why are you calling us stupid? Because that's literally what you're saying to these massive amount of black people all across the country that are like, we don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about, we are still voting for Joe.
I think they're ignoring black people. I don't think they're calling us stupid, although I'm not saying they don't believe that. I still remember the low information stereotype about black voters that Bernie Sanders spread and the progressive people that supported him spread about black voters in the South specifically, that we have less information. And I try not to get angry when we do these segments because I personally think y'all are kind of, a lot of these people kind of soft. They're very emotional in that they need to feel good about their president. They need to feel good about their vote. I've never needed that. And so to me, this is more of a waste of time. Now, this is politics, and that's what the business of politics is making people that should be too smart to fall for the shit, but making people feel good about the vote and the things that they do. And I've never fallen in love like that. But it's just ultimately, I can't imagine being so weak that I would let this country go into Trump's hands because I didn't feel good. I just can't imagine it. And I just don't feel like I can't identify with those kind of people because we don't fight the same. Like I said, it's, when you're saying like, I'm getting tired of all this, like, I'm never gonna get tired.
Never.
I will never. Then maybe I'm built different. This is not work. Voting is like the easiest fucking thing I do of anything I do politically.
The bare minimum.
It's literally nothing to go with. I want to do it. Mm-hmm. The earlier I can do it, the earlier I do it. I do it the earliest I can. I take my picture after it's not hard. Mm-mm. My ancestors did way more than this.
Right. I'm not getting shot at when I take my black ass to the poll.
Many people doing too good to be complaining about some shit that they really is not that hard to do. And I mean it when I say I hate Trump. I mean it when I say I kept that same energy. I mean it when I say I'm cool with going low. Cause going low is, I'm just want to win.
Right.
I'll win with anyone better than Trump. Period. I don't need to feel inspired. You know what inspires me? The idea of Trump not taking office inspires me.
Yes.
So we don't see shit the same.
We do not.
We don't identify in that way. Mm-mm. And I'll try not to be mean or dismissive. So I'm not gonna call you out of anything, because I'm glad you wrote in. Many people probably feel the way you feel.
Yes.
But I would be less than authentic to act like I give a fuck about any of the stuff that you just brought up, because that's just feeling shit. At the end of the day, the one thing you said I give a fuck about is I'm still voting blue.
Yep.
Right.
So we on the same page.
So if you need someone to pat you on the back and hold your hand through it, this ain't really a good show for that, to be honest. But at the same time, fine. Yeah, get your feelings out. But we strapping up in November. What the fuck? Like, do y'all not remember how you felt January 6th?
I do.
Do y'all not remember how y'all felt when this motherfucker took the office? Do y'all not remember the pins and needles, the text I got?
Every day waking up in goddamn anxiety.
The pins and needles and the text I got from all the homies when they were just counting votes. Where they just hadn't got the results back yet. When Trump was suing and trying to get the overturn. When he wouldn't admit Biden won. When they were like, are they going to have to force him out of the White House? Y'all might have forgot. I will never forget. I don't even know what the fuck we do if he gets back in.
Right.
I'm not considering anything else. And honestly, it's not really a thing I want to argue about, because if I'm being real, it don't matter who the fuck's on the ticket. Y'all just ain't got the numbers. So you just got to eat it. That's what the fuck has to happen in a party that is a big tent. And the last thing about the Trump part, this is what people don't realize about the Republican part, because most of y'all just think Republican, big tent, one single mastermind. That's not what's happening. Donald Trump is far away not the kind of candidate they would prefer. Far and away.
They don't want him.
Many of them disgusted by him.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them wouldn't want to be in a room with that man. The difference between them and y'all is that they will stomach this disgusting hypocrite sinner to get what they want.
Right.
It's never the politicians. He is their Joe Biden.
Yes, he is.
They just understand the game better than us. They ain't gonna quibble. They definitely not gonna do it in front of us.
Right.
And if you start some shit, like people will go, y'all don't even want to have a discussion. We're having it right now. This is the discussion. What's happening is you confusing not getting your way with not being heard. We're hearing you and we're going, you're not gonna get your way. So that now what we gonna do? And that's part of being a party. You're not gonna get your way. No one kicking you out. This ain't like what happened with like the Republicans. They just kick you the fuck out.
Yes, they do.
They go get the fuck out. Bye, Liz Cheney. Bye, Liz Cheney. You gotta get the fuck out. No one here can say shit like that. Democrats, AOC and them still in the house. Ain't on committees. Ain't nothing to it. Disagreement is part of it.
Yes.
What happens is when you don't get your way, some people throw the tantrum like something's happening to them. Nah. Joe Biden didn't rig nothing. Dean Phillips didn't get done wrong.
He ain't steal nothing.
You don't primary a sitting fucking president with an administration that's doing as well as his.
Right.
Period. Now, and this fucking debate thing didn't happen until after that section of the primaries where you would have debates. So like he's debating Trump now. We're in the general, sis. We out of the primaries.
Yes, we are.
So wasn't no reason to primary him. It's not a time. You can't just come in and be like, I'd like to take over now. That's not what happens. If someone's going to get handed to him, it's going to be Kamala anyway.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nobody fucking voting for Dean Phillips, some rich asshole that we don't know. It's just wild shit like that doesn't make sense. I'm sorry we got stuck on this so fucking long. I really didn't plan on this, but I have to be as fervent with this message as y'all are with the disrespect.
Right.
Because I want, and it's a message to everyone else who would even attempt to write up here like this. Understand, We are not dumb. We're not in denial. You can paint us as low information you want. You know it's not true. We have done the fucking same thought process as you.
I thought about it.
And not just us, the majority. You got to deal with the majority of people in our party, and definitely the majority of black people sound like me and Karen.
Right.
So for all this allies talking about vote like black women, listen to black people, all this shit that y'all said in 2016 after you didn't, because black women voted for Hillary. It wasn't their fault. Black men voted for Hillary. Wasn't their fault.
Mm-mm.
For all that shit the allies said, you know, they didn't do it in 2016. In 2020, they didn't want to do it then. Black people had to force their hand when they went through the South and said, this motherfucker's the goddamn president. Stop fucking around. We saw what y'all did with Hillary. Y'all will do it again.
Right.
No, just vote for the fucking old white dude who doesn't really have any reason not to do all this progressive shit you want anyway. Just, you won't like grandpa's doing it, but that's who's fucking doing it. They were right. 4 years later, here y'all go again. Y'all ain't gonna listen to us, and you don't want to accept that it's a racial thing, so we can't even have a discussion because it's offensive to be like, this is breaking down along racial lines. Mm-hmm. Look at the polls about black people specifically in this Biden shit. He got more support. More people were like, nah, fuck that. So I don't know what to tell you, you know? Anyway.
Yeah, and before we move on, like I said, like you said, people underestimate our dislike for Donald Trump, and people underestimate how much I am like anybody but him. And I mean that from my heart, because I don't know about y'all, but Quaker Oats remembers, or no, Peppermint Farm remembers, and I remember
Pepperidge Farms.
Oh,
go ahead.
Pepperidge Farms.
Yeah,
remembers. My bad. The North never forgets. Type of shit. So I won't ever forget how angry and how upset and how enraged I was when that nigga was president. I will never forget that rage that I had inside my heart, and that anger I had inside my heart against a country that I was born and raised in and loved so much. I will never forget. So fuck that nigga. I am like, whatever it takes to win. We're not questioning this. We're not arguing about this. There's no debating for this. And this is one reason why I stay my black ass offline and don't talk to people about it, because I will get angry.
Yeah. So, like I said, like they're saying, all that said, President Joe is a good man. Then there's really nothing left to talk about after that. He did a good job as president, and now it's time to he's doing a good job as president. He's still the president. So if you can't hear it in yourself, I don't even know what to tell you. Here's the presumptive nominee, so there's still time to pivot and have an open convention in August. Open convention at this time is chaos. Also, the Heritage Foundation and their lawyers will challenge anyone coming out of that convention. And if it's not Kamala Harris, the amount of black women who will be completely offended that she was passed over will probably lose us the general election. Mm-hmm. Trump is way more formidable this time around. I just think Biden-Harris ticket is too weak to win in 2024. But I will fall in line and vote for Joe if that's what it is, because democracy, #vote blue, because what else are we going to do? And I know you said that sarcastically, but honestly, what else you going to do? So, appreciate you writing in, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and
a lot of people needed to hear what we had to say about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thank you.
And hopefully it saves us from anyone else writing in and wasting our time.
Yeah, I thank you for writing in, and that's one thing. You got to voice your opinion, but you also have to understand we have our opinions too. And like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, we're going to be authentic to who we are and how we specifically, feel about it. And just like you feel strong in this letter, I feel strong about my opinions too.
Yeah, and it's nothing wrong. Like, I really do think that's what, at least in the conversations I've been witnessing, and I'm not saying I'm on both sides, but I have an understanding of both sides. Mm-hmm. And everyone fucking thinks they the only person that's mad. Right. What a lot of them don't know is just we're not very vocal about it, but I'm fucking fuming.
Child, I got a fire in me.
Well, we know you mad. You just was yelling. But a lot of us are just fucking fuming. And I've been doing my best to just stay out of the path of the people that I respect but disagree with, because I assume they're doing the same to me because I don't think they're stupid and I don't want to disrespect them. And hopefully they're feeling the same way about me. But this idea that we can't even see the other point, I can see the point that Eb was making. The point that she's making is one that's couched in she never wanted this dude.
Right.
That's the same point a lot of people making. What they really think they're slick with is that they're trying to take this guy out because they didn't want him, and they're trying to pretend that it's about that debate, and it's not. They would have done this the entire time if they could. They would have done this his first day in office if they could. They just don't want this guy. But unfortunately, they gonna vote blue. What else they gonna do? So ain't nothing really to talk about there. All right. Let's get into the let's take a break. Jesus. That was fucking long as hell for no reason. DJ Jaffa.
Listen. Listen. Although I want you to, you see, although I want you to, although I want you to, you see, although I want you to, you see.
Yeah, you can go to salon.com. Experts. Black voters still back Biden at the debate amid Trump's highly anti-black campaign. This article is 4 days ago. That's not even after the thing he did last night or the thing he did at the NATO. I'm telling y'all, this shit is a racial divide. No one wants to admit it. No one wants to talk about it directly because it's going to make black people that agree with getting rid of them feel like some type of sellout. I'm not saying you are. It's going to make white people feel like they racist because they won't listen to us. And so no one wants to bring it up, but that's what the fuck it is. I ain't pulling no punches. I ain't called nobody racist, say nobody was a sellout, none of that shit. But it's just gonna come down to black people saying this is what the fuck the nation need to do again, and motherfuckers saying they wrong until that last fucking county in Georgia gets declared, and then they go, thank God, black people, we did it. Whew, oh my God. Yeah, you already fucking forgot. All right, sorry. Episode 2935.
No problem.
Candy Fried Chicken. Candy Fried Chicken gets a no from me, says Appia. It's not like fried chicken itself was the best for health. No need to put sugar on it. Wonder if Diddy really will serve jail time. I like VP Harris as far as I can tell. What's wrong with her? She's qualified for me and has charisma. Girl, you just not in America, so you fine. You doing right. Doing right.
Child, yeah. It's best not to, yeah.
The reasons against her are dumb as hell. I hate to say it, but they are dumb reasons.
Right, and
she got saddled with immigration as one of her issues as vice president. Right. Why would that? So did Joe Biden under Obama. Why would that change anything? We all know that's a quagmire, and you can't just solve it. Republicans literally voted against the legislation that they had for it. So why would that hurt you, general voter, to vote for Kamala? That doesn't make sense to me. She laughs funny. Are you fucking serious? You just said that this other guy is senile according to y'all. She can't laugh funny. That's the issue. Someone's funny laugh, I can't see myself voting for her. She can't win. This dude could literally forget words on stage, and y'all like, vote blue, what you gonna do? That's the fucking difference if you want to know. But yeah, I the stuff they say about her is crazy, and then the propaganda campaign is gonna wind up again too.
Yeah, because like you said, out of all the candidates, a lot of the anti-candidate, she got like the most as far as like things that were wrong with her, and then the propaganda and shit like that bullshit that people still buy in and believe in and shit like that when they really don't even understand the things that happened and how she was benefiting people in California. Nobody's perfect, but at the same time, for her time, she was very, very progressive, and people have a tendency to forget that.
Yeah, and I think you were trying to refer to at the beginning that Russia targeted her the most with their disinformation campaigns online. Yatunder says, Insecure is another show that had great lighting for dark-skinned black people. Annie Leibovitz is someone who desperately needs to take some lessons on lighting black. I've never seen a picture she took of a black person that looked great. I'm not into the Annie Leibovitz hate campaign, not because I think those pictures necessarily look good or bad, to be honest. I'm sure if I saw some, I'd be like, oh, that's not bad. Matter of fact, I know I've seen some of her pictures of artists where I was like, oh, that's not bad. But that's not my point. There's a deeper conversation that we would have to have that I don't think anyone wants to fucking have about black people and what is considered looking good for black people. Because basically, especially any dark-skinned person, a lot of people just think slathering their skin in moisture and lotions and make them look damn near shiny is the only way a person of dark skin can look attractive.
Right.
And I'm not saying that look doesn't look attractive or whatever. I mean, there's black people that look great like that. But there's something about that that's a deeper level of deprogramming we will all have to do in order to have that discussion, because I'm not so sure that Annie Leibovitz isn't making a more bold statement about the natural beauty of black people than any of y'all think. And I don't want to fight about it, which is why I never bring it up. But when I be looking at the pictures, and maybe it's just because of the way my mind works, where I'm just like, I don't know, Viola Davis looks like Viola Davis, who looks great. So why would, so she's not greased up? What are we saying? She no longer looks great, or what? It's just a lot of conversation that I think is deeper than that, but it's a kind of Twitter hate hive thing, and I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. There's no need for me to, get involved. But that being said, yes, Insecure, beautiful palettes, beautiful camera, all that stuff. About Supercell, and I believe it was like a white woman that was the cinematographer that worked there, at least she may have done it the whole time, but I think when they did the documentary, she may have come like a couple seasons in and just took it to the next level. I can't remember exactly how it went, but I was like, oh, okay. About Supercell, as a person who used to have sickle cell disease and works with sickle cell patients, I'm so happy we're being highlighted more in media and awareness is being brought to the disease more now. Sickle cell, although affects more people than cystic fibrosis, doesn't get half as much money as cystic fibrosis does, and there are only 2 approved medications. Another effect of racism, as sickle cell disease affects predominantly black people, while cystic fibrosis affects more white people. I love that the way their powers are activated is through their eyes turning yellow, which is a common symptom of sickle cell patients when we are sick or about to have a painful crisis. It's a great show, and I can't stop raving about it, as you can see. Thank you, Tunders. Mm-hmm. Sean says, candy fried chicken is a no for me, but talking about the VP bacon fried apples, that sounds good. And it's a video of Kamala Harris cooking bacon fried apples. All right, well, thanks for the video. Mm-hmm. We already done went too long on that shit. Ronan Raphael says, that Diddy be wanting the body music deserves an award. Always makes me burst into laughter no matter what I'm doing. Just wanted to shout out to the artist.
Me too, baby. I laugh every time I hear it too, because it always catches me off guard.
And I believe the artist is Psycho Music. And Psycho Music, you can always tell because he puts the drop in most of his music anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's like Psycho Music. Pamela Mate says, candy fried chicken would be cold. So that's a no for me, dog. Not that anything's wrong with good fried chicken, hot, warm, or cold, but I don't think it would work. Evie says, I need my people to be free from the shackles of candied everything. It seems to be a huge trend on TikTok now, and candy fried chicken is a step too far. I think the candy trend is the new crack epidemic of our time, planned by the CIA to give us all the sugar. That's what I was saying.
Give us all sugar.
Can't believe we're on the same page on this. They want us to end up like Big Mama. This is like the episode of Big Macs when the Luther was introduced. Say no to candy fried chicken. And Hustle No Flow replied and said, yeah, I saw candy fried ribs on Instagram the other day. What started this?
What?
Right? Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm on to something.
I didn't realize we was glassing up everything in candy fried.
I'm on to something with this. Hustle No Flow says, I wanted to say no about candy fried chicken. I really did, but I tried it once. I love Luther Burgers and get one every now and then. I also tried the ham dog when that place was around and showed it on the Tonight Show. It's a hot dog wrapped in ground beef and deep fried, served on a hoagie bun covered in chili cheese and a fried egg. Definitely got the meat sweats while eating it, but it was good.
I bet you did. That sounds like a lot. And the place that used to serve that, they didn't call it Duluth, but it was close to it. It was absolutely delicious, and you can't eat it but so often.
On YouTube, we got some comments. Kingpin says, I just feel bad the one time dark-skinned people look good on screen when it's about race. Tenet was a good movie, but it got no praise. First of all, those are two random comments that have nothing to do with anything. Second of all, that is not true that the one time dark-skinned people look good on screen is about race. There's other things that black dark-skinned people look good in, as someone just pointed out, like Insecure. So, and I brought up literally all of Ava DuVernay's projects. So
yeah, all her projects.
It's not a one-off. I was just saying they look really good on this series. That's it. And now sometimes that's enough for me to be like, I'm gonna stick around. You know, most of the stuff that I think dark-skinned people end up looking like bad in because of the cameras and lighting is more about the people directing it and the vision they're going for and how they see black people. But you know, we know that. You know. Fi says, off topic from this episode, but can you explain how you grade the fucking with black people? I be confused. Okay, fucking with black people. First of all, it's kind of funny and a joke, and being random is part of what makes it so good. But here's how the scoring goes. We read articles and we rate how much we feel fucked with as black people in intervals of 25, meaning your score can either be 25, 50, well, it can be 0, obviously, 25, 50, 75, 100, which is why one of the intros is like 25, 50, 75, 100. How much is you fucked with? And then above 100, if something gets you so mad, there's almost no numerical measurement you could place upon it. Then we say Dracarys, which is the word, Karen says Jacaris, but it's Dra with a DR, which is the word from Game of Thrones that the dragon riders use to tell their dragon to burn something to flames. So it's basically like, this is making me so mad, I just want it all burnt down.
I want to flames.
So that is the score. I hope that helps. I hope that if you have more questions, write back, but I hope that helped explain it. Someone said cute glasses, Karen, but they were talking about your old glasses. I think they thought these are your new glasses. But you know, old glasses can be cute.
Yes, I like them little glasses.
I need somebody to tell me why black people be running from good magic and jokes. LOL. Is this some embedded ancestral memory prompting us to haul ass?
I think so. It's in our DNA.
I have a theory about it. Honestly.
What's that?
As far as why we run from jokes and magic.
Jokes and magic.
Open your third eye. Open your third eye. Open your third eye. Open your third eye.
I think that's what the white man used to get us to Africa, from Africa to America. I think they did some old David Blaine shit.
They did a good card trick.
And people was like, what? Oh, snap. And then they started tricking us into getting on them ships. And now
it was like, run this way.
Now in our DNA, when we see people do like shady, tricky shit with their hands or whatever, we just get up and start. We got to get the fuck out of there because they trying to amuse us to death. They trying to entertain us and distract us while they put the fucking bag over our head. So that's what I think happened. And then the poll was candy fried chicken, yes or no. 80% no, 20% yes. Y'all good. I'm glad y'all listened to me, man. y'all showed me we still matter.
we matter.
It's good to know that, you know, it's important, you know. All right, let's see. 2936, the place everyone goes to be mad. 5 comments. Appia says LinkedIn is the most positive social media. It's only unintentionally funny, but very upbeat and positive. I'm there for work to see what new publications are posted by neurologists. People behave there because they want to make a good impression for professional reasons. It's cringy and full of inspirational posts that are in reality brags, but it's amusing and does not give me anxiety. Good.
Unintentionally funny. That's hilarious. Like, so if something happened and they go, they ain't mean for that to be funny. But
I mean, because they're not posting probably current events, social stuff, political shit. Like the other TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, people are being funny because they're making content all the time.
Right.
Rona Raphael says, yeah, that's another thing that's on my travel list. Go back and take out the chaps who figured out time travel list, to figure out how to make social media engaging. I mean, the list keeps growing. I believe it was after I listened to one of your previous episodes and Karen talked about how she had to pull back from social media engagement for her well-being that I first considered what drove the most engagement in mine. Why was I engaging and how did it make me feel? After that, I was able to bring it up during therapy, and with the current attacks on Biden and zero accountability of Trump, I find myself doing what I complain others do again. So I have had to woosah myself or remove myself from my apps. It is a drug, though, a very powerful one. The cocaine cartel should sue.
Yeah, it is literally the same part of your brain lights up for that euphoria, that thing that gets you excited. So
and with this last round with this Biden shit, I don't mean to sound callous, but like, what the fuck is anybody gonna do? Why are y'all yelling at me? Why am I yelling at you? You can't do shit and I can't do shit. Period. Y'all can try to embarrass the man out of office, but clearly because I said this during after the debate. I don't remember I told it to Keith Malley or someone else, but I said because the bar is so low, he will clear it. Because y'all can't have a normal conversation. If we could have a normal conversation, like, I don't think he's up to it. That's a different thing than, they've been hiding that he secretly got
Parkinson's. Like, that's in reality.
And it lowers the bar so low that all he got to do is show up for 2 weeks and not look as bad as he did in that debate, which is almost impossible to look that way again, and he'll clear it. If the people, what they gonna do? He has another debate. If he does the bare minimum, you yourself will be like, oh, that wasn't bad. Now, if any other candidate did the bare minimum, it'd be like, this motherfucker gotta go.
Right.
Hillary Clinton won every debate against Trump. Led him in all the polls. It didn't matter because that's not what it is. That's not what it's about.
It's about the populist voting.
Us getting caught up in that bullshit. None of this matters. And I if I could fast forward to November for just this discussion, I just do it so we can just know. Like, because the thing that's going, I already said what's going to happen. Let me just move on. I'm sorry. I don't like talking about this shit because I know we're repeating ourselves, and I don't think it makes good podcasting to keep hammering the same fucking points. But nobody's saying anything that's going to change it. Evie says the only black person Omarosa cares about is Omarosa. She's a nuisance.
Agreed.
And that just won't go away. Although I don't rank her in the top 10 coon list, she's still a coon, so fuck her. I'm not sure what compelled Megan Good to reveal that all her friends told her not to date Jonathan Majors. Like, some things we can keep to ourselves. I miss secrets. Yeah, I'm surprised she said that.
I was like, even if that's a true statement, keep to yourself. Like, it is just some shit that happens. You go, I'm taking that bitch to my grave. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all ain't never gonna know.
I don't know that I'll ever have an interview where I feel comfortable saying I went against the advice of all the people that love me.
They love me.
I just don't think, you know what I mean?
It's a rarity.
If it's one person, sure. But if it's like everyone that knew me before I met this motherfucker that cares and loves me said, don't do it. And I said, y'all, I got to live. Mama got to have a life too. Like, girl, don't tell nobody. Just privately be like, I'm going to do it anyway. And then just don't. Because then when it go wrong, everyone's going to be like, oh, here come boo-boo the fool. They not going to have no sympathy. And the vast majority of relationships break up. I'm not saying they're bad or don't work out or whatever, but they're not forever. So, like,
agreed.
The odds are more on their side that eventually this shit will fizzle out and they'll be like, everyone, this is not a supportive place. Everyone's gonna be in her grits again on her comments, and it's gonna be a lot.
And it's also one of those things where, cause child, you ain't the first one, nor will you be the last one where your friends were like, girl, he ain't no good for you. Go on over there if you want to, because this thing, they gonna love you. So if something happened, they gonna be there if it does work out or not. They don't give a fuck about none of that, child, and they just gonna drag you.
Yeah, good luck to her though. Sand Lightning says, admittedly had a breaking point about social media making me angry years ago. But as I was about to quote tweet Rob Reiner on how he thinks Biden should step down from the presidency, I didn't do a quote tweet, nor did I respond to him with a reply. This was days ago for the record. I just went about my business and continued on. Dunking or just straight up fact checking doesn't really work on Twitter, nor does it enlighten most people on the platform.
Nope.
Yeah, I think we're definitely at a point, probably a few years ago now, but we're definitely at a point where the engagement for people is more important than being right. And I see all the time, and I think about this every time I see it, people who either say something very wrong, and a lot of people quote tweet them and say like you're wrong, or a lot of people correct them in the replies. And there's so many times where those people either don't delete or don't admit, oh yeah, I was wrong, I'm sorry. And it's clearly about the fact that the dopamine hit from the engagement is stronger than, it's like it's a dunk tank at this point. I'd rather you hit the target and dunk me in the water, because at least you threw something at me.
Yep.
As opposed to you just walk by the dunk tank and don't pay any attention. Yep. And I think we're in that dunk tank social media mentality era, and it's just so it's just sad, really. Honestly, it makes me sad to be like, damn, because it's reputable people. It's people that know better. You know, It's people saying stuff, knowing the positions they hold. It doesn't matter if they're a journalist. It doesn't matter if they're a cop politician. Everyone has the same thing. I watch people all the time now as things deteriorate or change in their lives, how much more or how much more or less online people are. And when you're online more, you're normally giving these type of, come give me some attention, let's fight opinions, and or looking for them. And I don't think anybody wants to admit how unhealthy that is.
Agreed. And it's a balancing act. When it comes to social media, it's an individual choice, and how much can you take and how much can you not take, and is your mental health deteriorating? Like you said, people don't ask themselves before they reply and retweet and all that type of stuff. And like I said, that's somebody who went through this process. You got to say, is this shit really that important to me? And for a lot of things, and once I realized this, because this is how particularly Twitter hat runs, I give everything 24 to 48 hours before I take it seriously. Anything that trends or anything like that, I'll give it time, because social media all across the board continues to move on to the next thing. So something that you enraged about and got your blood pressure up, in the next 48 hours they'll be talking about something else. But how you felt does not change, and also how you felt, that feeling moves on to whatever the next topic is. And so you never have a time where you turn yourself quote unquote off, and you have to. The body is not designed to be, because the thing about social media is like these emotions, the sad, the anger, the mad, all those, anxiety, depression, your body does not know that social media is giving you these feelings. Your body is responding to it like whatever it is the most important thing ever. And so you're pumping these things in your body, and your body is not designed to be heightened like that for extensive periods of time.
So Sailing Agony goes on. I'm pretty well past 2020 and things I learned about Twitter and social media as a whole, that it's an echo chamber. People experience what they want to experience, see what they want to see, left, right, center, libertarian, troll, etc. It doesn't matter. It's also not fun anymore, and that's okay. It can be fun. It's just very rare. Or you just have to vigilantly fight to make it fun. It's not. Yeah, it's now work now to be fun. Mm-hmm. Where it used to kind of be a thing where like the default was you're having fun, but I think that's when they wanted to build the user base.
Yes.
And now whatever they're doing to us is not about that. It's best to channel whatever feelings or something else that on something else than a site filled with bots or another liberal white person who doesn't want to hear about me calling them cowards, or either staying home during elections or stop saying do something to Obama. It's not good for the soul. To quote Marshawn Lynch, protect your mentals. Peace.
Yes.
The poll is, does social media make you angry? 0 most of the time, 86% sometimes, and 14% not at all. And that 86% I think is the most truthful people, because I don't know how, unless you're just not on it,
right?
I don't even know how you get to a place where you're on social media and it doesn't make you mad sometimes. You know what I mean? Because I think that's what it's trying to do. It's not, this isn't anyone's fault. It's like of ours. Is if you're on there, it's gonna try to find a way to evoke emotions.
Oh yeah, the algorithm be algorithming.
Let's see. YouTube, 4 comments. Katura says, maybe you pronounce his name wrong. I've never been more shocked during Guess the Race.
Right, me too. I was like, I know you lying.
Right, I almost didn't read that story because it's so sad, but the name is just, I had to read it. Alexandria says, Karen, you look so cute with your glasses. Social media outrage has caused me to... Oh, that's a complete thought. So she was talking about your new glasses. Social media outrage has caused me to take a step back. I noticed I would interact with more negative posts than positive. Now I'm trying to only comment on positive posts and focus on my mental health. As for Megan Good, peace be with her. I thought it was a press relationship at first, but now I think she's a genuine person that might want to change him. Yeah, my conspiracy is that she was the woman he was texting. And I'm not gonna, I won't go any further into, that's already too much with my conspiracy theory. So I'm not saying she feels responsible, she need to make it up to him. I think a lot of people, now they're not saying it, but they thought he was attractive and charismatic, and a lot of people was talking about they wanted to fuck him and it didn't matter if he had a white girl and all this shit. So she might just feel those ways, and she's like, fuck it, fuck that girl. Yeah, everybody was saying they would take him from that white girl anyway, so she's one of the few people on the planet that got that pull-up game to do it.
Right.
A lot of people pull up on Jonathan Majors and he's gonna be like, whatever.
Right.
But I feel like Megan Good could pull up on that. Listen, that's a good man, Savannah. If he could, if he turned out Megan Good full court press, like,
child, you walk up on Jonathan Major, child, he gonna shoo you out the juke joint.
Yeah, now, but I mean, not when he was with that white woman, and not if it was Megan Good.
Yeah, anybody else would have walked over on him, child.
Oh yeah,
he'd have shooed you out the juke joint, but like, go on, get now.
She's just one of them ones. It is what it is. That's another. That's.
Child. Go ahead.
The other reason we know she one of them ones is because ain't nobody mad at her. How many people be mad at women that's even in the orbit of people that are accused of, or in his case, convicted of abuse? How many? Think about it. I'm not saying it's fair. I don't think it's fair. Like, I don't think, like, when people like Taylor Swift is dating a guy who has a podcast and he made jokes years ago that she didn't, and I was like, shut the fuck up. That sounds stupid to me. Because all of y'all, if we going through everybody's history, then ain't nobody that's dating a man fitting to pass the test. So just stop acting dumb. You just don't like that woman, right?
Right.
But like, and then there's so many, like, I can't remember. It wasn't Khalid. It was either, I think it might have been Karrueche Tran was dating somebody and they was mad about that. He said something about trans people a while ago and you didn't. So my point is, we blame the women dating the fucked up person all the time.
Yes, we do.
No one's doing that with Megan. No one is doing that shit with Megan Good.
Not in Bass.
Everybody's like,
girl, I
damn shame she's dating him.
Yup.
No one's like, she's just as complicit. That's how fine she is. We finding reasons to treat her different. I wouldn't have treated her the way I would anyway. But y'all are finding reasons to treat her different. It say something.
Child. Yeah, child. She the only one that was like, I know how to do the twist too. And they out there twisting together.
I see you, Karen. You making great. Jonathan Majors is an old old timey Negro jokes. I don't want you to think I don't see it.
Okay, thank you.
Trying to focus on my place in this thing. I know you're doing your thing. People are laughing.
I was doing it in the background.
These are good jokes.
Yeah, I'm glad you get them.
There's nothing wrong with the jokes. Are great. I'm just trying to stay on my place in the thing.
Oh, no problem. Just let me cut up in the background.
Yeah. I just wanted you to know I appreciate it, so you didn't think it was going unnoticed.
Thank you.
Let's see. Even when she divorced her, she said that I thought it was press relations. Oh yeah, she always seems so sweet, kind-hearted in her interviews. Even when she divorced her husband, I didn't see many negative comments from her. I hate when people complain about politics but refuse to do the one thing that could change it: vote. My mom told me she never thought she would be fearful for her rights as a woman and as a black person as in today's time. Man, I almost cried. We're living in a pivotal time. I want people to be outraged as they walk to the polls. Appreciate y'all thoughtful comments on these topics. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also it's just one of those things when, I look at my mama who raised me. She's in her 80s now, and she has seen laws being voted on while she was living to turn around and be reversed while she was living. And I'm old enough where some of the laws, like during Obama time that got passed, are now being reversed in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people fail to realize if you are alive long enough, you're like, hey, bitch, I don't want my freedoms to be taken away, and I will do whatever I can so that they won't be taken away.
Tabitha says, dog, I have the hardest time trying to get my husband to wear his glasses too. I've been wearing them since second grade, and he didn't start wearing his till mid-40s very sporadically, and then is clueless as to why his vision is blurry and stuff is hard to read. D. Terrell says, hey, Rod and Karen, you hit the nail on the head about the boneheaded teacher. He posted content in his classroom with his students. No permission was granted live during the hours of school instruction, during the classroom hours. That's messed up, and it was also not school content either. Yeah, exactly. I know he said he got permission from the parents, but yeah, did you get permission to go live during class from the school? He's trying to paint it like is no big deal, but I saw the stuff that they're saying to him, and is enough for me to know something was wrong. They did correct you. They didn't pay you for 5 days.
Right.
Clearly they thought you did something wrong, and you said going forward you're going to change your behavior, which means you accepted their accusation. You need to change your behavior.
Right, well then don't come out here fucking touchdown dancing. Bitch, you did something wrong.
You touchdown danced on the people that said you're a pedophile. I hear what you're saying, and I'm sure that hurt a lot that people said that about you. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, there was a lot of people that had some very genuine concerns that weren't rooted in anti-blackness. It wasn't rooted in you being a pedophile or whatever the fuck. A lot of people just went, this doesn't seem like the best environment. Feel right. This doesn't seem like the best environment for these children. And the content you're making, mixing it with some of your personal stuff, it just seems like a very unprofessional thing to do. That's it. The poll, does social media make you angry? We did that. All right, let's go to the final one. I'll play another beat. A Solar Swing by Infrared Crypto. 2937, the Queen Who Forever Twas. How do I? Ronan Raphael says, I voted no in the poll. The poll was, should Niecy have flown back to finish the battle? I voted no, but my reasoning was, for the second time, not the first, Amon may be a bad man in Stephen A. Smith voice. However, this is also his first battle. He shouldn't have the smarts over my auntie. Rest in peace to my auntie, voice of reason to both Rainice and Corliss. She held it down when her husband was MIA too. She been a real one and named me her heir. Hit up my dragon GoFundMe. Let's avenge her. Shout out to all the soldiers who saw two dragons fighting and said, fuck the realm, I'm out. That's not abandoning duty. That's honor.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, I don't blame them at all. They was, like I said, some of the stuff this season has actually been some of the better stuff ever for Game of Thrones. with people being like, oh my god, it's dragons. If you want to make CGI isn't what make the dragons seem real. People running the fuck out the way make the dragons seem real to me.
Come on.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave.
Excuse me, please.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Nope.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
That's me if I see a dragon in real life. The fuck am I hang around here for?
JL Covan writes in, as I listen to this recap, I thought I should pay money for a companion to Drunk History called Black Fantasy, where Rod and Karen's dialogue is lip synced by the characters on the show. Possibly within a decade using AI. Yeah, probably will happen. The actors should all get canceled for N-word. We'll all get canceled for N-word usage, but it would be worth it for the art. Yeah, they would have to figure a way to edit out, like, blank out the N-word because we can't have white actors saying that. But I think people would watch our version of Game of Thrones where
yes, they would.
everybody's just talking like, nigga, you the one that's fucking up the goddamn meetings.
No.
Man, shut your bitch ass up.
You get your shit together.
Right. Jon Snow said, that's cap. You know. Evie says, I haven't been as affected by a death in Game of Thrones franchise since my girl, Lady Olenna Tyrell. Why did they have to make
Olenna, she went in like a G.
Right?
Tell Cersei it was me.
Yes, I love her. She was the best.
When she though?
Now she would have had that energy. She would have propped Joe Biden up. Anyway, why did they have to take?
She the poison people to put Joe Biden back in the office. What y'all talking about?
Why did they have to take my good sis, Lady Rhaenys? Team Black keeps taking L after L. At this point, I'm not sure how Ray is going to turn things around. If Aemon gets on the throne, I think it's a wrap. Every episode, Cole Liz just pisses me off. I just want him to die, get diarrhea as he's dying, and his penis chopped off and stuffed down his throat. I hate him. I hate him so much. I would rather watch an entire spinoff of Walking Dead featuring Henry than for Cole to survive this season. Fuck that nigga.
That's some serious hate. Y'all know how much she hated that nigga.
Right? It was funny too because somebody was like, they put something on Twitter that was like, who are the most evil Game of Thrones characters? And it was Joffrey, Ramsay, and Kristen Cole. And I said, pardon me, everyone. I'm sorry. Maybe y'all have forgotten what the fuck Ramsay Bolton was doing because
he's
it's
number
not
one
close.
on the list.
It's not close.
Ooh,
Joffrey is second. But Sir Chrissy is not even in a motherfucking hemisphere yet.
No, he's not, cause woo, he was something else.
He gotta do what? You know what? Kristen is up there with Theon.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Right now, he's on Theon level. And I don't mean Theon. You can't go with, well, they redeemed Theon. Right. After 7 seasons of torture.
Right.
Nigga, he burnt them kids.
Yes, he did burn them kids.
Unlike y'all, I kept the same energy till he died.
He said, fuck them kids.
I wasn't fucking with him until he sacrificed his life so that they could kill the Night King. And then I said, okay, fine. Like, I didn't want to give it to him. I'm like, I guess. You just gonna give your life, then yes, a kid for a kid or whatever the fuck when he say brand. But nah, no, absolutely not. Chris ain't earned that. I ain't scared of him.
Right, no.
I'm not scared what he gonna do when he get on screen. That
was Ramsay.
Ramsay was different.
He showed up, you was like, cause he showed up, you were like, oh shit, something about to happen. And it's some of them things, but even some of the other characters, they may have been unpredictable, but not like him. It was a flat fear when that nigga showed up.
Yeah, Chrissy up there with Jamie Lannister and shit. He's a bastard, but this motherfucker ain't. Ramsay was sick. Anyway, Shannon Wright said, hey, y'all, love y'all recaps, especially Carla Chris and Sir BBL Chrissy. I had a thought while I was listening to some comments about the episode. People were saying that it's sad watching the dragons fight and die because we know there's none left by the time of Game of Thrones. But I think it's also sad watching the Targaryens fight because we know by the time of Game of Thrones, basically Dany and her brother. Because they intermarry so much, there's barely any Targaryens left. So watching them fight each other is just as tragic. That was just a thought I had because they're going to keep fighting each other, and we're going to lose dragons and Targaryens and Valerians, and I'm already sad about it. Yeah, we running out of people. I can't wait till it gets so ghetto they start bringing in like them bastards. Like I want them sons to get them dragons.
And the wives, yeah.
Because that son was looking at that one bastard son of Corlys. He was looking at Sea Smoke kind of hard. I feel like that could happen.
Yeah, it's gonna go on down the line, and I think Bailey eventually gonna get her dragon. I
hope so.
It's gonna be something. I can't wait.
Can't wait for this week's episode to see what happens with Aegon and how Team Black moves forward. Continue prayers for BBL Chrissy to die. Ramsey D. Jenkins says 5 stars for y'all's recap of them thrones and the comments from our tippers family each week. Thank you both for your commentary and humor. # pour out some wine for Ray Nice. Suave P says it may have been discussed during the recap already, but my thought on why Nisi flew back to the battle knowing she would likely die is that she has been living in regret for not having put an end to the Greens at King's Landing season 1 when she had a chance with Meleys, and Daemon never let her forget it. I think had she flew back to Dragonstone knowing she had a chance to take out King Aegon and his brother to prevent further bloodshed, given how limited Rhaenyra's army and allies were, she would never hear the end of it from Daemon. That's definitely part of what you're saying is true. I agree. I don't know that was her motivation, but it can't hurt. Here's what I think it was. I think it was this simple. That was the castle of a lord who was on the small council for Rhaenyra. And if she came back and was just like, yeah, the castle fell, it was the dragons was there, it was a trap, I honestly feel like that would be taken as not doing her duty.
Yeah, and she would have lost respect. And because isn't that the one that when they said it, he left immediately? Yeah, because by the time Ray came back, they was like that nigga gone. He out there at his castle.
Yeah, so I don't remember if he was the one that left immediately or not. To be honest,
okay.
The Rook's Rest plan seemed to happen. I just don't know for sure. And
okay.
I know someone will write in and correct us.
Oh no problem. True. But I know one of them.
I know one of them did. You're not making things up. Just wanted to point out that I don't know the answer.
That's true. I thought it was him, but it might not be y'all.
Yeah, not that it matters too much, but just just in case some motherfuckers don't hit us with the. Actually, that was Lord such and such, and we're like, okay, it didn't really matter, and you know that, but okay. Hustle No Flow says Nisi is a real one, but I do wish she had returned to regroup so that she could lead a tag team fight against Vhagar. Meleys was injured though, and it's possible she couldn't have made it all the way back without Vhagar walking her down.
I think that's it. I think that she was like, hey dog, like, you're injured. We're not at 100%. Now the first time she could have got away. That second time, there's no way she could have got away.
Now I wonder how Corlys is going to go about gathering up his sidekicks. But you were right about Sir Gawain. He was wild, making sure his name rang out when he led the charge through the breach. I knew that was him. I knew it was him because the closed captioning didn't say it was him.
You're gonna take all the credit.
And y'all know I don't listen to nobody else recaps and shit, so I don't know. I do watch the New Rock Stars. I watched New Rock Stars. They didn't mention that it was Gawain. So I'm like, I hope I'm not reaching, but damn, it sounds like Gawain about to get the goddamn trophy off of Sir Kristen. As for the High Valyrian, man, Aemon was sunning Aegon so hard. It's like he was purposely showing him that he didn't deserve to lead the army or to be king because he had not taken any of his training seriously. I think Aegon is like people that understand the language by hearing but can't really speak it, so he could understand exactly what Aemon was saying. But every time I see Aemon, I just get mad that he took Laena's dragon, and that should have gone to her. That should have gone to her daughter. I want him to get his so bad, but I know that I probably won't get it until the very end. I very much feel like Ice-T in New Jack City about Aemon. You want to shoot him so bad you dig his heart?
He lost the eye over that dragon. He was like, "Mama, it's okay. I might have lost the eye, but I got a dragon."
This is why I don't do too much rooting.
Gangsta.
This is why I don't do too much rooting for any side of it. for me personally, because unlike some of y'all, I fully appreciate Amon being one of them ones. Oh my God.
Since he was a kid.
He is so good on screen. His character is so well written. The acting performance is so nuanced and smart. And the only thing missing is I wish it was almost like Star Wars, where he could have his own theme music every time he does something, because he's a character that is that deserving of theme music, because he is main character supervillain energy in a way that no one on that side is to me. Not Chrissy, even not Allison, not Otto, definitely not his brother. Like, Amon has always been the guy that I'm like, I can't wait to see what they do, because honestly, I hope, because I haven't read the books and I don't want y'all to write up and spoil it. Please don't. But I really hope he becomes the main guy on that side at some point, because I feel like he's much more of a threat than anyone else in the show right now.
Yeah, and I think, and this is just my prediction too, I think him and Rhaenyra's husband end up going to have a conflict at some period of time. Damon, yeah, like there's going to be something where they're going to have to go.
Yeah, they foreshadowed it with that vision. All right, YouTube. Tanisha says, I was thinking Damon can't leave. Maybe the castle or witch is trapping him there. Laris basically made it seem like that could be possible. All his dream scenes made me feel like I'm tripping. I think we definitely supposed to feel like we all having an acid trip.
Yes, everybody's losing it.
But as far as leaving the castle, I think he's gonna leave the castle. I don't think he's trapped there. Just because for the show to progress, he definitely needs to go to Lord Grover, and like he need to go do something to show that he is that dude, and he's taking over basically for Lord Grover, who's that old infirmed man that can't rule. And I think in order for that to happen, he gonna have to not just leave the castle, he gonna have to pull up on his dragon, because he ain't got no soldiers.
No,
so he gonna have to literally pull up on his dragons. And I think that was what he agreed, well, what he was asked to do by the Blackwoods was to pull up on the Brackens with the dragons, burn them up, and then they would join this cause. So if any of that has to happen, he gotta leave the castle. Ajax says Martin definitely named a lot of Tullys at the Muppets. Love these reactions. Thank you. Holly says, I'm really loving your recast. The nicknames you have for characters are everything. Thank you. Tabitha says, man, due to unforeseen circumstances, I no longer have HBO. But you know how blessed we are that Rod fought through a migraine to provide us with a top tier recap. Thank you. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it, because I really did. This is the only way I can enjoy the show at the moment. Thank y'all. Christoph said, recap so good I had to listen twice. Chef's kiss. Thank you. Yay. Akana says, my favorite recap with a heart emoji. Thank you. And Wangangi says, appreciate the effort. Great recap as always. Thank y'all. Thank you. Share those things from YouTube. We appreciate y'all. We do. Next segment is voicemails. I guess I'll play a beat here just in case.
Yeah, to break it.
Boom. How about this one?
Psycho.
Music.
Let's get to these voicemails. The first one is from somebody. I don't know.
Yo. Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to start. But let me just say this. Please don't listen to this until the next feedback show. This is like pre-feedback to the Game of Thrones recap that hasn't even happened yet. But yeah, so like I'm at this scene. You're probably going to talk about it in the show, and then like you get the feedback. Okay, you get it. Y'all get it. Y'all are pros. I'm at this scene where Aemond, one-eyed, starts speaking Valyrian in the council room. That first scene, and I'm like, bruh, nigga. Y'all the best. Rod and Karen, y'all the best.
Okay, 2 things here. First of all, this is against one of the rules. You wrote in with some feedback before we did our recap. So I let it play out of respect, but don't do this.
That's hilarious.
Don't do this. The second one is, this is why our recaps are so good. You see what you just did? That was terrible. Not that terrible like a terrible feeling or we didn't have fun listening to your voicemail, but like, imagine if that was our recap on Wednesday. Y'all waited for me to be like, hey, you want like, woo, all right. So in the next scene,
I'm gonna say, did they even leave the name?
No.
I already know who you are,
This
baby.
brother's been calling us since 2022 and never told us his name.
That's
But
hilarious.
I appreciate you. That was very adorable.
It was adorable.
But also wait for the recap. Just wait for the recap. We saw the thing. Let me tell you something. We saw the thing.
That's hilarious.
Trust me. We saw the thing.
Yes, we did.
And I wrote 15 notes about the thing. All right.
Hi, Rod and Karen. It's Kaden, aka Number One Feeling, who's barely on Twitter. I don't have anything really to say, just 2 things. One is just to let you know that I have so thoroughly been enjoying your recaps of House of the Dragon. I went back actually and I re-listened to season 1 in preparation for the premiere of season 2 and slid right on into the season 2 recaps. They're great as usual.
Yay.
Can't wait to hear what you have to say when the episode comes out tomorrow for me in my time zone. And the other thing is that This Too Much that you and Bossy did about the pop out, I really enjoyed that. Also, I first saw it come up in my YouTube, and I was very geeked about it. So, yeah, I just want to let you and Bossy know. Appreciate y'all. Karen and Rod, obviously, I keep appreciating y'all. I am behind on episodes, so I'm not going to respond to anything specific. Just to say thank you. I continue to enjoy y'all. And, starting to listen to y'all at the end of 2015 was one of the best decisions I made, and you continue to make me happy and feel all the warm and great things. All right, love you both, and I hope you're well. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is from Vaughn.
Hey, Rod. Hey, Karen. I hope you guys are having a great day. I was just calling because I was listening to the show where Karen was talking about her glasses and being a new glasses wearer. And I feel that, Karen, because I'm still getting used to wearing my glasses all the time. I am new to this, and my family keeps shading me about it. They're like, just put your glasses on. Just put your glasses on. It's like, oh,
yes.
Yeah, I wear glasses now. And then I was like, oh, my goodness, I got to stop being like my dad. Because my dad, I know he should be wearing glasses because so many times my sister called me. She's like, your father didn't even recognize me out in these streets. And it's like, it's me, your daughter. It's like, oh.
Put your glasses on.
He's wearing glasses, sir, and he doesn't. He keeps talking about, I take these vitamins. It's like, I know what vitamins he's talking about because they just reduce eye strain. They're not for that. But then the kicker was, it's like we were at Disney, and it was at night. We were heading back to our rental, and I was driving. So I went down the wrong side of the road, and I looked around, and everyone was asleep. And I was like, oh, goodness, I could have killed us all. I was like, but they'll never know because my husband doesn't listen to feedback shows, so I never told him that. And I was like, oh, I got to wear my glasses all the time. I had forgotten my glasses that time. But just saying, yes, I understand about getting used to wearing my glasses because I actually wore them all day yesterday, and I remembered to do that. And my daughter, she was like, oh, look at you wearing your glasses. She's like, she's 13 now. She's such a little troll. But I love her, even though she, teenagers. Anyway, love you guys. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's adorable. And what I'm going to start doing is because my prescriptions just changed just a little bit. Because basically it's the same prescription, except for now he said that they got this new thing where they just make them a little bit sharper. So with my old glasses, I'm actually keep them at the computer, like sitting at my computer desk, so that the glasses are already there in the morning, and just automatically kind of put them on in the morning to get used to continually having them on.
I love Iman's voice because it always feels like she's holding in a giggle, like she's telling me a secret joke about a coworker.
Yes, and can't wait till she get to the end just to start giggling.
Yeah, I like.
But
that.
like, and they said, and you be like, oh yes, I get the joke.
Hey y'all, it's Kiana. I just finished listening to the episode where y'all was talking about Omarosa, and how she, her response to Donald Trump talking about the black jobs was like, oh, you're talking about slaves. I am curious about y'all perspective on this, because I feel like his comment about the Hispanic people taking black jobs, I feel like that's a conversation that a lot of like older xenophobic black people have, where they just insist that everybody's coming to take our jobs.
Right.
And I feel like that is him pandering to the older black voter block, because they're the most consistent when it comes to voting. It very much feels like internal conversation that we've been having, that somebody told him that might be a way for him to like be able to pull some of those people in. And the other thing that I feel about that is, like, we talk a lot about how the Democrats pander to black voters. Like when Hillary was like, she carries hot sauce in her purse, or Kamala was like, she, smoked weed in college or whatever. And they'll say like, oh, they're pandering to the black voters. But we don't talk enough about how the Republicans are absolutely trying to pander to black voters. A lot of them are specifically trying to like target black men. How effective it is or not, we won't know until the election. But this definitely felt like pandering to the older black, kind of xenophobic, don't like Hispanic people voters. So I don't know. I'm just curious what y'all think. So let me know. Love y'all. Hope you're having a great day. Bye.
Oh,
Thank you,
thank
Kiana.
you. Not only to them, this also caters towards a lot of people who are, and they didn't have to be old, but like, a subsection, of black people that, don't like Hispanics for whatever reason, or they truly feel like they're quote unquote taking their jobs and shit like this. A percentage of black people really do feel like that, because black people in America can also become, we call xenophobic too. And, we think we quote unquote above that. We're not. We absolutely are not.
So I saw the debate, and I saw when he said this. I don't think Trump is savvy enough or smart enough or forward thinking enough to truly have had this epiphany moment of, oh, this is how I will pander to black voters. Not saying it's impossible for him to try that or whatever, but I just don't think he's necessarily capable of the amount of foresight that it takes to do that. So I think there are black people who will believe that shit. There's black people who say stuff like that, but that's not necessarily a black talking point, because when you say something like that, it also elucidates how you feel about black people and the jobs that they take.
Come on.
And I think if people think hot sauce is pandering, if they think, which was a true thing that Hillary Clinton really does, that wasn't pandering.
Yeah, she'd been doing that
if
for
they
decades.
think, Kamala's smoking weed, listening to Tupac is pandering, they absolutely would. Any Democrat who's turned around and says something like, yeah, because, black jobs are the jobs Mexicans are taking from that, I'm pretty sure they'd all catch hell. So I personally don't think that that's how he meant it, or that's like I don't think he's that smart or savvy. And then I forgot what the second thing was, but yeah, I don't think so. We give Trump, we do too much work for him. By we, I mean the general public and the media, trying to make him seem like a smarter person than he is. And of course, Omarosa is just a very bad person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what more needs to be said? Like, she just seems like a horrible human being, and I personally can't just let it slide because she happens to be a black woman. Like, oh no, it's okay, she's horrible. Nah, you're a bad person, and you helped this monster ascend to the White House, and I don't trust you to say anything about racism. All right, last one's from Blue Wave Rider, who left that refresh review.
Karen and Rod. I haven't listened to today's episode of The Black Guy Who Tips, but I did just watch episode 4 of Them Dragons. Nigga, that was intense. I mean, oh my goodness. I know, Rod, you said last year Damon got hands, but BBL Chrissy got plans. I had no idea that they had planned the sneak attack. I hope I ain't spoiling it for TBGWT listeners, but if I am, so be it. So I'll listen to your review tomorrow. I may have more comments. Y'all have a good day. Out.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Glad you enjoyed it. As always, appreciate you, hitting us up, man. All right, that's it for the voicemails. Let's get into the emails. I just realized that emails and females kind of sounds like, get into these emails. See what these emails talking about. Okay, see, when an email, first thing you got to know, brother, when an email come up to you, don't look her in the eyes like you respect her. Look directly in her chest and go, them titties ain't big enough. That's how you get in their head. That's called negging. Okay, these emails.
You know how you be treating them emails.
You know how to treat an email. Okay, y'all are. That's a problem. Y'all be treating these emails too good.
With
y'all
respect.
simping. Y'all be returning them and replying to them. Man, I got 500 emails in my inbox right now.
Emails ain't nothing but hoes and tricks.
Right. I don't even reply singular to any email because they think it's too important. I reply all to let all them emails know they got to compete for the king. That one's called Baby by DJ Jaffa. All right, LaShonda writes in, hey friends, loving the recaps as always. Thank you, LaShonda. We appreciate you, the doctor. First and most important, I need Ramin Djawadi to go ahead and drop the first 4 episode soundtrack because that music swell when Rhaenys decided to go for Vhagar was pure perfection. Yeah, I forgot to bring up the music always be on point too.
Don't it though? Whoever do the music, they been doing a great job.
They know how to do expensive over there.
Yes.
So befitting her character and her dragon. I love that while the Greens were trying to burn dragons, showing they are young and do not truly understand them and are showing that they are their mother's children, she only used Dracarys for the soldiers and attacks for the other dragons. Eve Best in a recent interview said it was deliberate, that her goal was to remove the weapon, which renders the riders ineffective, and their use of Dracarys only showed that. Oh, so like, okay. Also, not sure why my phone does all caps, but isn't it appropriate? Yeah, so it capitalizes Dracarys, is what she's saying. Also, the way Melise was sticking and moving the entire episode against both Vhagar and Sunfire, I love and hate this episode at the same time. Well, Melise is the fastest dragon, I believe, so
yeah, the fastest
it makes
dragon
sense that a lot of her attack style would be about speed and striking and not fire,
right?
And pure, physicality. Rhaenys could have escaped, and I do not think Aemon would have pursued them. Taking Rook's Rest was the goal, with taking out a dragon as a side quest. But if she relieves she's abandoned a council member, and she knew she couldn't do that for Rhaenyra to prevail. I think that's what it was too.
I can see that.
If any book readers are complaining in your Twitter mentions, ignore them. Oh, they not. I'm telling y'all, man, I don't know what it is. It must just be my aura, my vibe. I don't experience half of the animosity most people experience with the amount of followers I have. And I say that as a person that used to experience a lot. I think I just changed my outlook and changed the way I interact, and I'm okay now just not talking about certain things. So I don't talk a lot about Game of Thrones other than live tweeting when it's on. Sorry to to my followers that hate that, but I only talk about it normally then because I don't care what the book readers think, and I don't want to fight, and I'm not really concerned with other people's opinions, and I don't care about the engagement off of it. So a lot of times,
because we're not looking for it.
A lot of times I just say what I think for here.
Same.
If any book readers are complaining and your Twitter mentions ignore them, Fire and Blood, the book is effectively a centuries-long game of telephone. I love what the show is doing, and just like the boys, comic readers are griping book/comic purists can get stuffed. Different mediums require different storytelling.
Agreed. And I feel, like I said, we read all of The Walking Dead prior to the seasons, the show actually ending, and I agree that they're two different mediums. You can do things in comics that you can't do in live action, and you can do things in live action that you can do in comics, but they just diverge. And like I said, if I'm going to watch the exact same thing, this is pointless.
As an aside, thanks for your well wishes for my son on Facebook. He still got a long way to go for healing, but all outreach from you and mutuals has been so appreciated. Of course.
Thank you, baby.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't even know what had happened. I just saw the picture, I be scared as hell now. We getting to that certain age where I see like any post where someone got a hospital bracelet on or laying in the bed or whatever. Like, you can literally take a picture of one of my friends taking a nap, and I'm gonna click on that shit so fast. Like, what happened?
Right?
What? Oh, he just had to lay down. Okay.
Just it wanted to be sure.
Well, I always wish you nothing but the best.
Of course.
MF Stevens wrote in, I doubt cycling is on your radar, but the first African black man ever won a stage of the race a few weeks ago, and today he has won his third stage, which is unheard of. It's hard enough for anyone but most elite cyclists to win one stage. To win 3 in the same tour is superhero shit. Cycling is like soccer. In the rest of the world, it's huge. This is a really big deal everywhere else in sports, but in the sports world, but here in the States, not so much. This dude will be like Tiger Woods of cycling to the rest of the world. Power to the people. And he's saying like a YouTube short. And then I replied, is this feedback for Balls Deep Sports?
Must have been.
What?
Must have been by accident, yeah.
What?
It probably was supposed to be for Balls Deep.
I mean, I love black people and everything, but like, what have we ever covered on this show to make you think we was gonna be like, hey, the black Lance Stevens is out this motherfucker up here.
The black Tiger Woods of cycling.
We calling them Bland Stevens. They saying he riding a Blake.
That's what we call him.
They saying he unapologetically cycling. I don't know.
Right?
All the black Twitter t-shirt phrases. But
of course.
But yeah, it's just, so I was like, yeah, what made you write this one in? Not that I was mad or nothing. He said, I don't have a premium membership, and so sadly, I don't listen to Balls Deep, but if you covered it on there, you the man. But we already knew that, LOL. I have not covered this. I just didn't know. It was just such an interesting thing you wrote in, that's all.
Yes.
Thank you for writing it. Congrats to that brother.
Yes.
And I'm not going to click on it, because then if I see that he might be black, but he not. Black, he like Tyler. Then it's gonna be a whole another section that's gonna be mad about that.
Yeah, ain't mad about that.
I just want to say congrats.
I'm just rooting for everybody black.
Right. Trey writes saying, "Hey, Rod and Karen, I wanted to write in again for the longest, but for some reason it's taken 3 years. What? You Rip Van Winkle?
That's every time I think about it, I fall asleep, wake up, and you're gone.
Well, did you get in a coma? What if his feedback from 3 years ago? First of all, I think I don't know what was happening this time 3 years ago.
Me either.
This is let me tell you something, okay? Michael B. Jordan is great in this movie, but who's really good and will never ever disappoint me is Jonathan Majors. That brother is a good man. I say this as I'm listening to Diddy, who is and I'll say without exception, the greatest man America's ever produced
of all time,
over Martin Luther King.
Yes.
All right. He says, I was compelled into writing this time because 1, Candy Fried Chicken, 2, Kanye retired, and 3, Big Daddy Joe Biden. Oh, you call him Big Daddy?
I like that. That's hilarious.
I'm not gonna do that. Just gonna let y'all know. I don't really stand for any politicians, but I definitely don't think I've met a politician I'd be calling Big Daddy around everybody. Definitely not a white Big Daddy either. Definitely, it's too much.
And not
too
old
many
black
connotations.
people. Old black people.
They already say we're on a plantation. We're gonna call him Mr. like the owner of the Panthers.
Right?
I'm okay. Anyway.
That's hilarious.
But I know it's just jokes.
Yes.
Candy Fried Chicken call me Uncle Ruckus. No relation. But what the actual fuck? Dora backpack instrumental, big back, big back, big back, big back. Those are some significantly big back activities right there. I don't know what possessed someone to make that. All I gotta say is, how many calories do y'all think that Candy Fried Chicken titty got? Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, I'm not curious. Maybe some big back stoners will enjoy it, but I'm gonna stay away. Well, you're asking questions like you're curious, detective. But
officer.
All right. I'm not. I don't care if it's big back. I think everybody take, like, if that's a thing for y'all. Everybody takes their dalliances where they get them. You know what I'm saying? So you go through everybody's diet. You got a thing. Well, you like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I ain't looking at the calorie count for these chocolate chip waffles. With the day is a fucking cheat day then, right? It's a fair day. It's a side chick day, okay?
I'm cheating on all the calories. Fuck you, calories.
It's Corliss and the Bastards of Drift Mark with this motherfucking cheat day today.
Right.
But my point being, like, I just think is too addictive. It sounds too addictive and dangerous.
Yes, you get a taste of it, and all of a sudden it's kind of all you want to have.
I'm saying stay away from it because it's literally gonna be crack. It's gonna be people gonna be killing each other for it. That was the joke anyway. It wasn't. Y'all gonna get fat. That's not the joke. Kanye retiring. While I'm not the biggest Kanye fan, I love music and art. I don't care. He could have faded into the background, and I don't think anybody would have made too much noise about it. The nigga done spiraled. Don't get me wrong, a young nigga, to get to top on a boat in Venice, I'm KNY jealous. But I grew up listening to Power on the way to school. I will say some great artists are mentally ill. Look at Van Gogh. He gave a lady his ear at the mental breakdowns, a sign of affection. Yeah, I still don't know why they told us that in school. Because that's the fact. That's the one fucking fact I know about Van Gogh.
That's it.
I think maybe he painted the Scream. I could be totally fucking wrong. I don't know what he painted. Why? Oh, wait. He's painted that Starry Night one. Whatever the fuck that one was. But they told us he cut off his ear over a woman. And they made it sound cute.
They made it sound romantic.
I don't know how many episodes of fucking Fatal Attraction you got to watch to be like, I would shoot this nigga. I would shoot him at my gate.
Return to sender.
Yeah, can you imagine the horror of a woman opening a box and inside is a bloody ear? This man then gift wrap for you?
Ooh, could you imagine back then it's probably been undecayed because it take two weeks to get it.
I think he put it in a box, but yeah, I mean it sounds terrible, and he sounds like a scary dude. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's like he liked the woman he cut off his ear. Oh my, so good.
Don't cut off your body parts.
Anyway, excellent use of color palette. All right. He says, Kanye wrote, I thought about killing you, a sickly, twisted, beautiful reflection of suicide, love, and living with BPD. I knew he lost it when a nigga was charging niggas an arm and leg to dress like a medieval peasant. Yeah, I mean, jokes aside, I do think Kanye just mentally his mental illness just got the better of it. He's not fighting it. He goes off his meds to create music. Mm-hmm. If anything, if any of this is true about him retiring, which I don't know, I don't believe it. Yeah, but if it is true, I mean, maybe this is a world where he gets medicated. That's probably best for everyone involved at this point. I don't give a fuck about the music no more. He made the music he's gonna make, like, and this whole thing of going off my meds the music honestly sounds way worse now than it did back then.
Yes, it does.
It sounds chaotic and not thought through. It's sad. It's honestly the Kanye shit has made me sad.
It does.
Not because I thought he was such this great person and all this stuff. I thought he was a very talented person. Mm-hmm. But watching a talented person kind of be ravaged by mental illness in a world that is so obsessed with spectacle that we will not stop to consider how none of this is intentional. Because we see attention and fame as currency, so we think that, well, of course he would do anything to be famous, but that's not true. He's a talented person. He doesn't need to do anything to be famous.
Right.
That some of that is mental illness, and this is a world that, you know, will laugh at you as you can mentally ill yourself to death in this world. I think as long as they're entertained by it, they're okay with it. They won't say shit until you're gone.
They won't, and then everybody go, ain't it a shame? And somebody should have stopped them.
Yeah, check on your strong friends. I didn't watch Big Daddy Joe Biden's debate, but I have to agree with you, Rod, on your opinion about the Democrats are as determined as the Republican Party. I was just telling a friend of mine that works on Capitol Hill that I think some of those representatives and senators saying he needs to step down need to sit down and shut the fuck up and push that motherfucking paper. I don't think a lot of people like Joe Biden. Hell, I don't. But please excuse me. I have a bad habit of simping over AKAs, Representative AOC, Crockett, and Omar. Honestly, I want Muscle Mommy Harris in the Oval Office. What is happening? What is happening with this? Who wrote this? Is this Miss Crystal?
Right? That's hilarious.
No wonder it's been 3 years. Jesus. Mama Harris don't play, and I like it a lot. You
should Miss Christopher right.
I don't know, but listen. I mean, Kamala is bad. She is fine.
She's pretty.
And I guess you must really just like the idea of a woman in power. You know, I don't blame you. Not wishing ill on the president, but worst case scenario is as we as Democrats or left-wing voters unite behind Big Daddy Joe and he has to transfer power to Kamala. I think Kamala would shine in that moment because we all know Big Caucasia got a hard on for making things hard for a woman of color. Call me delusional or whatever, but Mama Harris would eloquently tell those lipless lieutenants on the Hill to get their shit together, put their companies in the trash and send her them bills, or schedule a meeting to discuss their concerns. I really do think Kamala Harris will be a great president. I'm not joking about that either.
Agreed.
And I'm not just saying it because I just said she looks good. I just genuinely think, and I'm mostly thinking of the Senate hearings and how she's always on point. I think she would be great at the job. I understand some of y'all would not want her to campaign for the job because y'all can't imagine, y'all are racist and shit, or y'all just have different sexist hangups and stuff, and y'all need her to be pretty smiley lady like it's a pageant and not what a president does.
Right, which is a job.
But I think, like a lot of women, applying for the job, interviewing for the job, the bias is everywhere. The second they get the job, everybody's like, oh my God, she's much better at the job than everyone else. Right. As for now, some people coming out speaking about Big Daddy Biden say he needs help to step down, but we don't have anyone that we have faith in to take down Trump. It makes my ass itch. Listening to that BS is like listening to a child who wants their way but can't cope with the idea that ain't shit gonna go that exact way. We need to unite behind Biden like the Republicans unite behind Trump. I agree. It's that simple for me. I don't think anything he's saying is wrong right there. They need to create a plan for our future that surpasses and actually serves more people than what Project 2025 is planning to harm, because if we falter and Trump wins, it will be all for nothing. I don't want to dwell on it too much because I already know what I'm going to do in November. Yep, us too. But at the end, as an end note, thank you for everything, and I appreciate the House of the Dragon recaps. I don't watch it because I'm a little judgmental, and when I heard that there was a lot of sex scenes in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon was a spinoff, I said, I'm good. Wait. You got a problem with Miss Mama's Power Mama, President Harris, Big Daddy Joe Biden? You got a problem with some sex scenes?
That's hilarious.
I thought this whole thing was some type of kink. What is happening? You didn't say that like, yeah, muscle mommy Harris. You didn't say that like honored mother church mother Harris. You meant that in a sex way. You freak. You just want to hear us say the House of the Dead like they were sucking dick up in that child.
Let your freak flag fly.
So you could you too judge, man. You probably get too horny. I don't give a fuck about these dragons. I'm the kind of guy where I'd rather go to my favorite big booty brown areola subreddit and tenderize my meat instead of watching a sex scene when I try to get.
This took a left turn and I was right. That's hilarious.
What? This is why I can't watch a long ass porn video. I'm not there for the plot. I'm trying to see that pussy pop. I ain't got time for all that. Anyway, thank y'all. Love y'all. Stay dangerous out there. Best wish, Trey the Truth, CEO of Thick Niggas Incorporated. That's hilarious.
Oh,
God
that's
damn.
funny. That took a turn.
Oh my God.
Black twist.
Big Brown Areolas is a good subreddit though. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of research being done over there. DEI president Steph says, hey y'all, I'll keep it short. I'm seeing the same articles, weird bot pages, and videos in relation to Kamala Harris and her love of locking black men up rhetoric that I saw in abundance in 2016. Oh yeah, they just hit the switch. They more scared of Kamala Harris, our enemies, like Russia and shit. Mm-hmm. They're more scared of Kamala Harris than Joe Biden. That's facts.
Yeah, because she wouldn't put up with the bullshit, right?
That's facts. Like, Joe still got some old school in him where he, like, try to be conciliatory and shit.
And wanting to work with people and shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kamala's pretty cold-blooded with that kind of, like, stuff. It's like, this is what needs to be done. Let's get it done. I've tried looking up her record to fact check, but I haven't been able to find much. Maybe I've lost my touch with Google. No, Google's gotten worse.
Oh yeah,
they started using AI shit. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah, you Google and sometimes AI, you be like, that shit don't sound right. Yes, and they did an article, I think on the New York Times a day. They talked about that, how people be googling and people like, what the fuck is this, Google?
But can you help me out if you're able? I'm just trying to get the facts. It just seems like she was doing a job, but I could be wrong. Best, Stephanie. Man, so I don't know off the top of my head what resource to give you. I remember the stuff I did years ago.
Yeah, we bought somebody.
So I guess it would have been 2016. I think the easiest thing to do is probably check out our episode we did with Reese Colbert.
Yes.
Which I believe is REECIE, Reese Colbert, who's a very dynamic woman who did a lot of social media posts debunking a lot of the Kamala Harris slander. And I just loved her attitude. She's just so good. She's so good at it. And I was like, I have to get her on the show because there was a lot of misinformation. I also talked on that episode. I think I talk about the podcast and articles that I read and listened to that debunked a lot of those myths. And to this day, the sad part isn't people fell for it. To this day, the sad part is that nobody comes out and says, "Oh yeah, I was wrong and I fell for that propaganda."
Right.
No, they just move on to the next propaganda and never admit that they got duped. And that's why I can't respect people. But yeah, check out that episode with Reese. I wonder if I might be able to find it on Spotify real quick.
What episode?
Let's see, Reese Colbert, the black guy who tips. Something gotta come up. 2263 Black Women Views is the name of the episode. It's from 2021. So that's that. I think that would be when we I talked about it on the show before then, around then. So you may see some episodes before and after that that's talk about me, because I think before she came on, I had done a couple episodes talking about debunking those myths. But that's a good starting place. All right, sorry. Now we can get back to the rest of the emails. Angela says, "Them dragons. Hey, Rod and Karen, I love your House of the Dragon recaps. I thought I heard you guys say you did Game of Thrones recaps too. So I looked through old episodes to see, but there's a lot to scroll through. Can you tell me where they're at? Or maybe I'm making it up. Big fan. You guys are killing it. BBL, Chrissy, and Auntie Niecy dead. You're not making it up. I think the easiest way for y'all to get those episodes, and we also did The Walking Dead too. And we did Lovecraft Country as well. But the easiest way for y'all to get those episodes is go to Spotify, and we created a playlist of those episodes. And I believe it's called, let me make sure I got it right, because I want to say it's the Blackout Tips Game of Thrones, but just give me, let me look like Tips Game of Thrones. Let's see if I can find it. Podcast and shows. No, that's not what I want. I want a playlist. All right. Well, I'll see what I can do to find it.
Let me see if I...
alphabetical order. There we go. All right. Just want to make sure. Sorry, this is kind of on the fly.
Did we name it TVGWT?
I'm looking right now. Let's see. I don't know. I definitely had it though. But yeah, search either TBGWT, House of the Dragons is that list, TBGWT House of the Dragons, and like I said, TBGWT Game of Thrones or something like that would be the other one. But yeah, we have a playlist with them all in there, and it was like, you know, how we kept track of it. I think also behind our paywall, one of the premium fees is our Game of Thrones recaps.
It is.
It's called Thrones, I believe. So, you know, you should be able to find it that way. And I can't find the old Game of Thrones recaps. I wonder if, I don't know. Now I'm on the spot and it's just tripping me out, but I wonder if something happened with that.
Yeah, I got TBGWT House of the Throne recaps.
House of the Throne?
House of the Throne recaps.
It should say House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones.
On the TBGWT Game of Thrones recaps.
Game of Thrones recap. Okay, can you put that playlist?
How do I copy it?
Just what'd you say it was? TBGWT Game of Thrones. Okay, there you guys go. TBGWT Game of Thrones. There you go. Just look that up on Spotify. That's every one we did for Game of Thrones. I see it now too.
It has 53 episodes.
Right. So we did 53. Now you won't find season 1 in there. I think maybe even season 1 or 2. Like whatever we started is when we started, but enjoy that. So I'll make sure to say this email and I'll send her the link. John writes in, clueless whites, Dems, British gangs, etc. Good morning, Rod and Karen. We talked for years about white people being out of touch with black spaces in the community and how you can easily tell who spent some time in the culture listening, etc., and who hasn't. And man, doesn't this whole replace Biden bullshit illustrate that shit in bright flashing neon lights?
Yes, because not trying to be funny, I'm looking like the Congressional Black Caucus, like all these black people are like, the fuck we ain't, and all these white people are like, I win, and it's like, because I'm looking and if it's somebody black, I'm wrong, but I don't see no black people talking about he got to go.
Right. I'm sure there's some, but there's not enough. And it's not the majority. And that's very important because it's a majority rule situation. And man the minute this bullshit started, my first thought was, oh, this is not going to go the way you think it's going to go. And lo and behold, after a few days, the Dem base got in formation and now looks solidly behind our president. Yeah.
Right.
But now these mostly white pundits, centrists, and Bernie bros are whining like little babies because the Dem base won't let them have their way.
Right.
That's exactly what's happening.
Right. And, it's one of those things where, like Right said, y'all can't come in and just change the rules just because, that ain't how it's been running.
It's funny because any other time, I'm watching people that claim the elites are out of touch, rich people are out of touch. The Democrats are a party of the rich and the elites. But when all these elites, media pundits, big donors are saying change the president. And the everyday average voter who goes to rallies and votes is like, no. Those people aren't going, damn, I'm wrong. The people are right. No, they're going, George Clooney making good points, man. Like, this is all bullshit. All this has been bullshit the whole time. This is why I don't never believe in nobody. Lo and behold, after a few days, they got it from, okay. So now the mostly white people, oh, it's so stupid. It really shows me who really believes in our coalition, who just thinks they're entitled to lead it and resents the fact that they've been told no.
Yeah. Right.
And haven't started watching season 2 of them yet, precisely because the first season was so damn brutal. So I'm glad to hear this season just a little toned down. It's very toned down. I finished it. It was not as good as season 1 to me. Good acting performances. I don't know why Luke James went 110% in. I don't know why or how, but Luke James, he, like, honestly, I'm not bullshitting. He should get at least mentioned for an Emmy, something. He earned that shit. He played the hell out of that character. But as far as the show, it didn't hit me the same. It just, I thought it could have. It was too much like a traditional horror show that has a giant twist in the last part and to make like everything make sense, but it didn't hit me the way that first one was so structured and layered and detailed. With it was like 3 stories being told at once. I loved it. Anyway, but Rod, your point about horror series getting shat on when they incorporate black actors and social issues was right on the money. Just look at American Horror Story example, which was widely praised for 500 seasons, most of which after the first season were just gross, gore, and formulaic, in my opinion. But then when Ryan Murphy makes Dahmer, a truly fantastic and serious series that actually centers POC victims and the racism of the police, that's the only one that gets a huge backlash. Yeah, that was tough, man, because a lot of black people, I would like to say well-meaning black people, are the reason that took off. And I think a lot of well-meaning black people basically got used, unfortunately, because anyone who actually took the time to watch the series, you could see that it wasn't the way that it was being shat on in the media about. There's no respect for the victims and none of that stuff. It made me cry with the things that the thought and the appreciation and the humanization of those gay men of color, mostly black, at a time when, I mean, fuck, look outside right now. It still ain't good. You know what I mean? So like, that it was way better than people just lied. It's just sad. People do that from time to time. And it's like, y'all are drilling up hate. You're making people say this shit is terrible. Don't put it. It shouldn't even exist. And then I watch it and I'm like, that's not true. And that's fucked up. And I can't unsee it from those people that propagating that shit. And so, I always look at them sideways.
Yeah, and for me on the outside looking in, I could see it being very, very, very and extremely frustrating for black creatives. Because if we tell everybody what it is up front, niggas come out and just trash the shit, particularly if it's anything about our past, our history, anything dealing with slavery, anything dealing with any form of oppression or anything like that. Niggas come out, it's trash, it's gonna be trash, everything's trash. Okay? So we don't say shit. We just lightly put it out.
Yep.
Then everybody go, well, I didn't even know this exists. Why ain't nobody tell me about it? This is actually good. Right, and they had to do that because if we tell y'all niggas cry and flop and fall out across the fucking timeline, so we have to put it out quietly, which is not good for the creative because nobody knows the shit even fucking exists, and they have to depend on word of mouth.
Yep. I just think we are rightfully traumatized in this country. It's okay to be mistrusting and skeptical, but we are at a point now where it's not about that. It's about shutting stuff down because we can, and it's about paranoia and fear that is not founded. No one gets to prove their case, and it's often anti-black to me.
Yes.
Because in addition to painting us as like these victims who can't like even hear a story that highlights our oppression, we also become these bullies that bully black creatives out of perfectly fine, if not noble, things to talk about. It's the reason that as much as people love Ava DuVernay for the culture, they won't watch her stuff. And I mean, a lot of people, not just they're like, this is a bad boogeyman shit. People are traumatized or whatever. They just ain't interested in it. They don't realize that effect it has on a lot of creators when you're A, they're not watching it, and B, you start shitting on it before they can even make it. It's just bad.
Yeah, and also before we move on, the thing about black people, everybody cries that they want black people to be free, particularly in the arts. They want us to be free to create any form of art we want to. That means all form of art, and all forms of art means our heartache and pain too, because black people in a totality, pain is part of life. You know, you have not lived until you felt pain, because once you felt pain, your reality of this perfect vision, that reality is busted, and you have to re-examine life and what life is, and look at the world without rose-tinted colored glasses on. And I think, and I will always say this, my personal opinion, people don't like to feel. People don't like emotions. And the thing about art, that's what art invokes or evokes, is emotions. It wants you to laugh. It wants you to love. It wants you to get angry. It wants you to get sad. It wants you to feel these things, because that's what art does. And people want to strip the emotion out of art, and that is fucking ridiculous. What's the point of the art if it does not evoke human emotions? Because basically we all have this human experience called life, and somebody's just taking their particular perspective and the things that they've experienced, or the stories that somebody told them, or they did the work and go back to the history, and they're presenting it. And even your own people is just like, no. And that got to be frustrating. It almost got to be a two-edged sword, because you go, I already got to deal with the racism of white folks here, then I got my own people looking me in the eye and telling me no too. I know that has to be a head trip for black creatives, particularly if you're making certain genres of black art.
Only thing I would say is, I don't think it's people don't like to experience emotions. I don't think that's true. I think people don't like to experience certain emotions. You know, it's like my Bomani always says, I don't do sad. I don't even know what that means. Everybody does sad. You know, and so he'll say, I don't do recreational sadness. And I'm like, right, because we essentially are saying the emotion, we want to control it. The emotions we experience recreationally have to be fun. It has to be this, because we don't value those other emotions, or we see them as weakness or bad times or whatever. And so I think a lot of people don't do recreational sad, recreational anything that reminds them of race, and it makes them angry, and they attack the people. And why? Because anger is sadness without a place to go. So they get sad about the idea of Jeffrey Dahmer killed these black men. Then they get angry and attack the idea as if like the idea is offensive. Meanwhile, like I said, a lot of times I watch the stuff, Them season 1 is another great example. I'm like, this is really well done and smart. This like, and so I don't know that white media is letting these shows be attacked. Mostly because I don't engage with white media, I'm seeing a on the ground attack from certain black Twitter personalities and stuff, trying to get a hate campaign going. Sometimes they're right, you know, good times they were right, but it's more like luck that they're right than anything else, you know, because they'll destroy some black project or some black creators project, and they won't even fucking feel bad about it until that black person comes out, like that little girl that's like, I didn't get a job on this cartoon because y'all lied and said that it fucking stole from this other cartoon, and that's not what happened. And they attacked the people. They found out like a couple white women were part of the creative team. They were like, oh, fuck this shit. And then the little black girl's like, I don't have a job. And they're like, Hollywood need to get her a job. I ain't heard from the little black girl since. I don't know what happened to her. Right. Y'all will destroy somebody's life behind some half-ass information
and not give a fuck.
So I don't know that it's a white people problem on that. White people problem is they see anything black, gay, whatever the fuck, and they start doing what they doing to like Miss Marvel and the Marvels and Star Wars, the Acolyte. Like the white people got a completely different thing than what we doing over here. On another note, Rod, are you saying if you ever visit London, you won't be quaking in fear of a gang called the Hooligans? What about their rivals, the terrifying Cogswoggles? What in the Willy Wonka is happening over there, right?
All of them sound like Harry Potter crews.
We can joke, but I hear the Hooligans are so tough that they see you on their turf, they will give you a lollipop. But it won't be your favorite flavor, gangsta. Yeah. I don't. In fairness to Kanye, those employees decided to work for him. I guess he was determined to prove that slavery really was a choice.
Oh no!
And Damon is tripping like literally that dark, dank ass castle is a perfect environment for growing magic mushrooms, which also often grow in animal dung provided by all them goats. Oh, maybe that's it. If BBL Chrissy knocks up any more women, he may have to change his name to Nick Cannon. Well, Nick, they be having them. When Niecy turned that dragon around, am I the only one who immediately felt like that dude started end zone dancing while the mountain was down, but definitely not out? Yeah, I felt bad for Niecy, man. Mm-hmm. Love Niecy, pouring out a craft IPA for her, but damn, what was she thinking? Yeah, that's why I can't be in war, because I would have left as soon as I seen like the first dragon. I'm like, oh, it's dragons out here? That's crazy. Where's Rod flying? On the fastest dragon, away from us. When someone slips and makes a bad decision in this world, it always goes real bad, like replacing Biden level bad. Cheers, John. Thanks, John. Angela said, oh wait, I already did her. Last one's from Allison. All right. Allison says, hey, Rod and Karen, I'm sure you got a lot of feedback and engagement about the House of Dragon recap, so I'll jump right in. All week, I've been thinking about the Green succession plan if Aegon did actually die. With the twin son dead, Aemon will be next in line the same way Daemon was until Viserys named Rhaenyra heir, because that was the only son we've seen of Aegon and Helaena on the show. That led me to wonder what kind of king Aemon would be. I'm easily team down bad black, and I know it would mean annihilation for them, but what do you think King Aemon would mean for the realm? Well, it's interesting too, because I think they can't, if I'm not mistaken, they can't name a woman, so it can't go back to Allison. It can't be Helena, because their whole claim is it's gotta be a dude. And of the dudes, I guess only Aemon would be the only viable dude, because I think Gwaine is like Allison's half brother. Oh, I forgot. There's one other Targaryen we never seen that's like they cousin Darren or some shit. They brother Darren that got a little dragon that we just ain't never seen. Anyway, Aemon kingdom. Honestly, this might sound crazy to y'all. I think Aemon will be a great king.
He'd be better
straight up.
He'd be better than this. He won't be hanging the rat catchers in the street.
Nah, I'm not talking about better than just Aegon. I mean, the only problem with Aemon, because he studies the histories, it would really just be about his penchant for the idea of battle and war. But I don't think Aemon is like, he ain't like Ramsay Bolton to me. He's not like Joffrey to me.
Right.
He would take being king very seriously.
Oh, he would take it seriously.
And the second that the war was over, I feel like he would be like, okay, like, I'm not here to pillage the fucking people and destroy everybody. I don't give a fuck about all that shit. I want to run it. I want to have a strong kingdom. The one thing I would wonder about is how much does he regard someone like Aegon the Conqueror, and how much would he look at that dagger if it showed him the story of Fire and Ice? If he, once he knew that story, would he rule like, I gotta take over the world? You know what I'm saying? Because I could also see a version of him that's like, I think strength is the number one way to make people not fuck with you, and the way you display strength is to always be kicking somebody ass somewhere, and I'm just taking over all of Westeros, everything. Like, anybody raise up, I'm fucking them up. That's the only way I can see it going bad, but I think he'd be a great ruler. Like, you wouldn't even notice. Y'all, like, people will only notice good parts. They're like, oh damn, the carriage is running on time. lately. You notice that?
right.
What the fuck? You know,
only people that would be concerned would be the people he in war with.
And I think also that prostitute lady would fucking suck his dick till we all got the kingdom.
Taxes would be lowered and everything.
Right. You saw what she was like. She was like, "Why you suckling these titties? Remember, when kings get upset, it's people like me that get hurt in these big ass titties." And he's like, "Well, I wouldn't want that."
Right.
It's easy to think of Amon as
there be whole houses everywhere.
It's easy to think of Amon as an evil, tyrannical leader, but I couldn't fully convince myself that would be the case, even as a tenured professor who teaches leadership and does leadership-related research. He was bullied heavily as a kid, and when former victims get power over people, they often become abusive leaders or hyper-compassionate leaders. We have seen zero real evidence suggesting that he would be either extreme, though. We've objectively been shown that he goes hard against who he believes to be the ops, and even then, we haven't really seen him be cruel to anyone for any reason. We on the same damn page, Allison. He didn't want to murder Luke. He wanted literally an eye for eye justice, and felt shitty that it escalated beyond his control. Right. And he, like, I do wonder if he got that Targaryen hot blood that make him be like, you know. Oh wait, she wrote, I do think it. Damn, it's like we in the fucking
y'all on the zone.
I do think his blood runs cold as fuck. And he definitely didn't shed any one-eyed tears behind it because, hey, spilled milk. But really, I think he would probably be the firm but fair, hyper-rational leader. Yeah, I also think Amon, because we as an audience, not our fault, but we as an audience is mostly rooting for Team Black, just the way they set the show up. But if we could take an objective look real quick and don't be either team for a second, I think you can make a great argument that Amon would be that great king. Like, of all these people, he would be the one that understands the assignment the most and once he has control, would appreciate it in a way that his brother didn't, because his brother firstborn or whatever. Not liking bullies is a good thing. We just look at it different because he lost his eye and he stole that dragon, and we like, see, but dragon ain't got no owner until it just link with you. So that, like, nobody was promised that. He took that motherfucker. He said, "Hey, you big motherfucker, you mine." He said, "All right." So like,
not trying to funny. I don't think that he would have got rid of Otto.
Yeah,
like it's certain things that.
But also, I want to give him credit though, because he was ahead of Otto with this. He knew it was war, and in that way, I identify with him because he's pragmatic. He didn't have an emotional anything to it. He was just like, y'all are tripping. Y'all are in denial about what this is. I'm gonna go talk to fucking Cole, and we gonna just talk about, like, this is what the fuck we do in a war. And you like, oh, you being a little preemptive with that now, ain't you? No, you can't apologize that I killed her fucking son and it's gonna be okay.
Right.
She gonna want the throne and she gonna want me dead. It's just war. I'm waiting on y'all to catch up to me.
Right, and he already basically went through it when he realized that door was opened up, and
right.
He was, oh, they come for me. And you know what I think he did? I don't think he told nobody. I think he pushed that he pushed that secret pass closed and cemented it up and was just like, okay.
I think he would have listened to Damon. Consider if this had never went down and he just was king. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with y'all. I think he'd be great. Let's see. He would make sound decisions and suffer no fools. He would be difficult, if not impossible, to manipulate. He just wouldn't be compassionate because that ain't in him. Well, he could be manipulated, but it had to be through that prostitute lady. He listened to her. I could tell.
Oh, he really listened.
The way he was cupping them bosoms, I said, yeah, I know she be telling him stuff. And like, go ahead and get you some more milk, baby. Taxes should be 3%. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's all right. You suckle those breasts. You know, what if we had universal health care?
And all the King's Landing?
But I am one of the small folk living and working in the Seven Kingdoms. I'm honestly pretty okay with that. Anyway, I love to get your take on this thought experiment I've been having with myself. I love y'all. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Hopefully, I think I answered it, at least on my part. Anything extra you gonna add?
Mm-mm.
All right. Angela said, oh, wait, shit. I keep reading Angela's fucking email because I saved it to send her the links to those lists for Spotify. All right, that's it. That's everything. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you throughout the week. And definitely see you Wednesday for them dragons. Until next time, this shit was 3 hours. Goddamn. We'll talk to you next time. Till then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. I blame that woman writing up about not voting.